Hello, fans, and welcome to This Day in Baseball, where we're going to bring you a full radio broadcast of today's game. And before we do that, I just want to thank Classic Baseball Radio, and there's a link in the notes where you can check out their full channel. They have many great radio broadcasts. And while you're listening to today's game, if you want to check out much more about the game and the players, look on the links below, and you're going to see links to player pages, the date the game happened, the year it happened, and the play-by-play. Enjoy the game, and check out the links while you're watching the game, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that every time new content comes out, you're going to get that firsthand. And thank you again for checking out This Day in Baseball, and enjoy the game.
So he's in his debut with the New York Mets. This is his 22nd year in baseball. It all started back in 1951 when Willie broke in for the New York Giants. At that time, he had gone 0 for 11. His first base hit in the major leagues, a home run off of Warren Spahn. Since then, he has hit 645 more. He has a career total of 646 major league home runs. Got a good crowd in hand. Umbrellas up down below in the open deck area. Of course, the crowd certainly cut down by the rain that started right around noon here at Shea Stadium. Leon Jones and Rusty Staub of the Mets are running out on the field. The umpires are at home plate. Also there, Charlie Fox, who has just been released from the hospital. He had a kidney stone attack. The manager of the San Francisco Giants, and Yogi Berra, the manager of the New York Mets. The umpires for the game today, Chris Pellicudis behind home plate. Mel Steiner will be the umpire at first base. Jerry Dale, the umpire at second. And Shag Crawford will be the umpire at third. Ray Sadecki completing his warm-up pitches on the mound. Out in center field, Willie Mays tossing the ball with Leon Jones. Rusty Staub, the right fielder, flipping the ball back into the bullpen area with one of the Met catchers. And a historic day here at Shea Stadium as Willie Mays, who has played out in center field here but never in a Met uniform, makes his debut for the Mets. He's got a tough job cut out for him because he'll be going against his former teammates and also against one of the top left-handers in baseball, Sam McDowell. Lindsey Nelson was talking with Willie Mays before the ball game, and Lindsey, I don't know, Willie's a veteran, he's 41, he's played awful lot of ball games, but he has to be nervous.
He is nervous, Ralph. He's a little uptight, and it's not surprising because if you're a performer anywhere, when you change those circumstances with a new audience, you want to do it well, and he's almost as excited as a rookie out there.
Well, he can get up, there's no doubt about it. He's got the juices flowing, and I know when I was traded to another ball club, there is pressure on you because you have to really show the club you're with that you can still do it, and that's what the story is all about. Right here, though, for the play-by-play, Lindsey Nelson.
Thank you very much, Ralph Cannon. Hello again, everybody. Chris Spire, right-hand batter's up to lead off now, facing left-hand pitcher Ray Sadecki. Sadecki himself, a former Giant. Spire was in, and he's out again. As plate umpire Chris Pellicudis takes a swat at a little moth or something that's flying around the home plate area, but now we're getting ready to go. And here's the pitch to Spire, and it is high and away for a ball as the game is underway at Shea Stadium. On deck is Tito Puentes. Sadecki takes the sign from catcher Jerry Grody. Here is the pitch, and it is in there for a called strike. Sadecki is 31 years of age. He's 5'11", 194-pounder. His lifetime record against the Giants is 10 wins and 12 losses. That would be while he was pitching with the Cardinals and the Mets against the Giants. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Breaks a little low, so it goes 2 balls and a strike. Last year for the Mets, Sadecki won 7, lost 7, and his record last year against the Giants was no wins and 3 losses. Here is a 2-1 delivery. It misses outside. Sadecki goes behind. 3-1. Joey Amalfitano is on the coaching lines at first for the Giants. John McNamara is the coach at third. Charlie Fox is back in the dugout today. Here's a swing and a long drive in the air to right. Retreating is Rusty Staub, and he makes the catch for the out. The outfield grass is wet. One away, and Tito Puentes is coming up. Switch hitting second baseman has an average of .263. He has 1 home run and 6 runs batted in. The New York Mets on the field have an infield of Willie Mays at first base, Ted Martinez at second, Bud Harrelson at short, Jim Fregosi at third. The lights are on from the start of the game here at Shea. Now the pitch, and it is low for a ball. Bobby Bonds is on deck. Very light, misty rain is falling. Here's a foul ball backing out of play. The umbrellas are up all around the lower stands. 1-1 to count to Puentes. Giants will be going home at the conclusion of this ball game. They have a doubleheader in San Francisco on Tuesday. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Swung on, line up the power alley in right center. Agee trying to cut it off. He gets one hop now, turns and throws back towards second, and Puentes is there with a double. That was a line shot up the alley in right center, and partially because of the wet grass, the ball didn't carry very quickly off of it, so Agee was able to one-hop it. He made a whirling throw, but Puentes went in standing at second with a double. That'll bring up Bobby Bonds, who is hitting .290. He has 3 home runs and 16 runs batted in. Mother's Day at Shea, and each of the moms coming into the ballpark was given a straw bonnet today with the orange Met ribbon around the crown, Met insignia on the front. Here's a breaking pitch, low for a ball. Dave Kingman is out there on deck. Now again, Sadecki sets up, checks, and deals a pitch. Swung on it on the ground to short. Harrelson has the ball, looks the runner, throws to first in time, no advance. Willie Mays, the first baseman, anchoring a foot and coming off sort of tentatively there to meet the throw. So there are 2 men out. Puentes is still at second, and Dave Kingman's coming up. Willie Mays was in 48 games at first base for the Giants last year, while Willie McCovey was out of action. McCovey is presently out of action with a fractured wrist. Kingman leads the major leagues in runs batted in with 24. He's had 6 home runs. He's hitting .260. He's a right-hand batter. That pitch is in for a called strike to Kingman. Now again, Sadecki with the pitch. Breaks in there for a called strike, too. It's 0-2 now to Kingman. Keep in mind that in the bottom half of this inning, Willie Mays will be leading off for the New York Mets. It's raining a little harder now than it was a moment ago. Ray Sadecki sets up. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit on the ground, foul back of third, out of play. On past John McNamara, the coach down there. Charlie Fox missed yesterday's game. He was at Roosevelt Hospital because of a kidney stone. But he is back here this afternoon. He is in uniform, and he's running the ball club. Sadecki sets and checks. Pitch is swung on, hit in the air to short right. Willie Mays retreating. Mays down the line, and Willie Mays makes the catch. The side is retired. Listen to the roar for a Mays catch of a simple pop. So the side is retired. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. And in the middle of the first inning, the score is the Giants nothing, and the Mets coming to bat.
You know, a deal on a new car is only as good as the men who back it up. But when you buy a car from the Dodge boys, they think about you. They think you ought to get more than just a handshake and a pat on the back. They think you ought to have a man at the dealership you can call about your car. And they think you ought to get good, prompt service. You see, the Dodge boys have one simple practice. When you talk, they listen. They lock themselves into the sale to make sure you remain satisfied. That's not to say the Dodge boys are perfect, but when they're not, they want to be the first to know about it. The fact is, the Dodge boys are realists. They know that the best way to sell you another Dodge is to make sure you like the first one. It's a simple, straightforward philosophy, but it works. Think about it. Then go see the Dodge boys and their 72 Dodges.
For the best deal on a new Dodge or Subaru, see Howland Pearson Dodge City, Main Street, Johnstown.
Willie Mays is coming up. Already the applause has begun to swell here at Shea. Willie is leaning on the bat. Now he moves out toward the batter's box. Here's the ovation, a standing ovation for Willie Mays. The crowd is up and standing here at Shea to greet Willie Mays on his return to New York. He is leading off. Number 24. Willie Mays, at age 41, has come back to New York. in the National League uniform of the New York Mets. Sam McDowell is his adversary, the big left-hander. 1-5, lost none. It's a swing and a foul ball. Back to get out of play. It's strike one. Bud Harrelson's on deck. All eyes are on number 24. That fastball is inside. Sam McDowell came over to the San Francisco Giants from Cleveland. And he's won 5 games, lost none. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Over the top of Willie's head. He ducks underneath, and the crowd is booing McDowell. Willie did not bail out. He ducked underneath. Willie's been up 49 times this year for the Giants with 9 hits, 2 doubles, 3 runs batted in, no home runs, a batting average of 184. He's hit more home runs in his career than any other right-handed batter in the history of the game. That pitch is high. It's 3-1. Willie's hit more career home runs than any man in the history of the National League. 646. The 3-1 pitch, he squares and takes high and away. He squared around, exaggerating a bunting stance in taking the pitch, and he goes to first base with a walk. In his first time up as a New York Met, Willie Mays is on base. That's what happens. At this stage of Willie's career, he gets on base that way a great many times. Coming up in a clutch situation, pitches pitch to him very carefully. Mays can still run bases with the best of them. His legs are still in excellent shape at age 41. He's a daring base runner. Dave Kingman, the first baseman, is holding against him as Bud Harrelson comes up. Harrelson's batting right-handed. He's hitting .232, 1 homer, 3 runs batted in. He squares to Bud. Fouls it off to the right side. The Mets had the sacrifice on, trying to move Mays up. It's strike one. The Giants have an infield of Dave Kingman at first. Tito Puentes at second. Chris Fire at short. Jim Hart around at third. Bobby Bonds is in right. Ken Henderson in center. Rookie Gary Maddox is playing left field. Big Sam McDowell now takes a look around before getting ready to work again. He's 6 feet 6 inches tall. He weighs 220 pounds. A ponderous person on the mound. McDowell with the pitch, and it is high as again Harrelson squared the bunt, bringing Jim Hart in from his post at third. Last year with the Cleveland Indians, Sam McDowell won 13, lost 17, but his lifetime record in the majors is 127 wins, 109 losses. He has, of course, no lifetime record against the Mets. This is the first time they've ever seen Sam McDowell. Willie Mays leads off the bag at first base. A 1-1 pitch. Harrelson squares. It's over the top of his head. He's on his knees. It's 2-1. Again, the crowd booing Sam McDowell a little for bringing that pitch in. Hard over the head of Bud Harrelson. McDowell has an earned run average of 2.57 with the Giants. He has struck out 36 batters in 42 innings pitched. He sets up this will be a 2-1 delivery. And the pitch is high. It's 3-1 now. That time, Harrelson was not bunting, and Willie Mays bluffed to start on the pitch. Harrelson looks down to sign man Eddie Yost at third to see if they're going to bunt, if they're going to play hit and run, if they're going to play must run, or if he's just free to swing away. Mays takes a wide lead now, tightens it up a little bit. Here's the 3-1 pitch he was taking, and it's in there for a called strike two. Now, will they run Willie Mays on 3-2 with nobody out? The catcher, Fran Healy. Tommy Agee is on deck. McDowell goes over to get the rosin bag now. Or rather, he tosses it aside and now steps back up onto the rubber. Kingman holds against Mays, waiting. Now Mays lengthens out his lead. And McDowell steps off. He wants to tighten Mays up a little. He's on the rubber again. Mays leads. He's running. Swinging a foul ball. Back and out of play. So they had Mays moving on the 3-2 pitch with nobody out. He got the good jump. Now returns to first base. This year, in the stolen base department, Willie Mays is 3 for 3. He can still run. McDowell has the sign. Will they run him again? Throw over to first. McDowell wants to keep him close if he possibly can. Kingman returns the ball to Sam McDowell. Mets are batting in the bottom of the first inning. McDowell now bends forward, has the sign. Willie Mays takes his lead. He's running. Pitch is low, and it's a walk, so there is no throw. Harrelson goes to first with a base on balls. Mays arrives safely at second. The Mets have run at first and second. Nobody out, and Tommy Agee coming up. So McDowell has faced two batters, and he's walked them both. I don't know who was the more nervous at the confrontation of Sam McDowell and Willie Mays. Apparently, it was McDowell who was the more nervous because Willie Mays drew the walk. And he bothered McDowell as a base owner at first to the extent that he has also walked Bud Harrelson. So now, Tommy Agee comes up. He's followed by Rusty Staub in the batting order. A light rain falling at Shea Stadium. Final game of a 3-game series. The Mets won the first 2 games, 2-1 and 1-0. Now runners lead at first and second. And the pitch is low for a ball. Now, Tommy Agee is one of the Mets who has seen Sam McDowell because Agee played in the American League with the Chicago White Sox. And Sam McDowell was pitching for the Cleveland Indians. So Agee has seen him before. His first year up 66, Agee was Rookie of the Year in the American League. This will be a 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. It's 1-1. Agee really took a riffle at that one. There's double barrel action in the Giant bullpen. They've got a lefty and a righty working down there this early. Willie Mays is the Met base runner at second. Bud Harrelson is the runner at first. Excellent speed on the bases. Sam McDowell up and set. This is a 1-1 pitch, except he steps off first. Now he sets again. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's a breaking pitch high. John Cumberland, the left-hander. Don Carruthers, the right-hander, working in the Giant bullpen here in the bottom half of the first inning. Baseball excitement at Shea Stadium. The Mets and the Giants. This will be a 2-1 pitch to Agee. It's low. McDowell goes behind 3-1. Now Agee takes a look down to Eddie Yost, the sign man at third. Sheriff Robinson is the Met coach at first. Joe Pignatano is the coach running the bullpen. The pitching coach is Rube Walker in the dugout with manager Yogi Berra. The runners take their lead as Big Sam sets up. 3-1 pitch. Inside, walked in, and McDowell has walked the bases loaded. And here comes Charlie Fox. The manager of the Giants is on his way to the mound. McDowell has opened up by walking Mays, walking Harrelson, walking Agee, and he'll face Rusty Staub if he stays in the game. Manager Charlie Fox looks down to the bullpen where he has Cumberland and Carruthers. Might want to leave McDowell in for one more batter since Staub is a left-hander, but Staub has hit left-handers well. He is the Mets' leading batter against left-hand pitching this year. Against the lefties, Staub is 12 for 32, hitting .375. He's had 2 homers off the left-handers and 6 runs batted in. Fox turns, goes back to the dugout. McDowell stays in the game. Now, Rusty Staub has been in a batting slump. He has gone 0 for 16. The last base hit he had was a home run off of a left-hander, Al Downing. 0 for 16 in this stretch. The bases are loaded, nobody out. Shortstop, second baseman back at double played up. First baseman deep, hard at third, even with the bag. Sam McDowell with the pitch. It's inside for a ball to Rusty Staub. Leon Jones is on deck. Rain is falling steadily here at Shea in the bottom half of the first inning. Sam McDowell with a season's record of 5 wins and no losses. Exchanged from Cleveland for Gaylord Perry. This is a 1-0 delivery. And it's way back. It could be out of here. Going. Here's a grand slam home run. Rusty Staub with a grand slam home run over the right field fence. It is his 3rd grand slammer of this season. A rather left-hander Sam McDowell. Cleon Jones is up. Swings and misses, strike one. That is the third Grand Slammer in Rusty Staub's Major League career. It is his third home run of this season, and he has hit all three of them off left-hand pitches. He snapped out of an 0 for 16 slump. The pitch is outside for a ball. It's 1-1. Now it's a 1-1 pitch. Foul back and out of play. It's 1-2. Don Carruthers, John Cumberland continue to throw in the bullpen for the San Francisco Giants. You see, the thing about all of this is to keep in mind, it is raining. The forecast is not good, and unless they play 4 1/2 innings, it all goes for naught. The Mets are posted to a 4-0 lead here in the bottom of the first inning. Here's McDowell's pitch, fouled out to the right side, out of play. There have only been 4 Grand Slam home runs hit in all the National League this year. The Mets have had 2 of them. Agee hit 1 and Staub hit 1. Now McDowell's pitch is inside low for a ball, and it's 2-2. Mrs. Joan Payson, the principal owner of the Mets, is here this afternoon. She has been ill during much of the early season. Here's the 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. He chased the breaking pitch low, Jones did. So McDowell gets his first strikeout. Jim Fragosi's coming up. He's hitting .265 with 2 homers and 8 runs batted in. Early today, when the tarp was on the infield and there was no batting practice because of the rain, the newest of the Mets went upstairs to the director's room to meet Mrs. Joan Payson for the first time. Pitch to Fragosi. In for a call strike. Fragosi has seen McDowell plenty of times. Fragosi was in the American League until this year. So was McDowell. Strike 1 pitch. Swung on and tipped back into the glove of catcher Fran Healy. It's 0-2. So Fragosi and Willie Mays and Chuck Taylor, all the new Mets, went up to meet Mrs. Payson before the start of today's game. Here's an 0-2 pitch, and it's inside for a ball. It's 1-2. The Mets are leading by a score of 4-0. This will be a 1-2 pitch. Swung on and foul down the right field line going into the seats out of play. The thing that happened here today is one of the things that the Mets expect that Willie Mays will be able to contribute to their cause. There's no doubt that Sam McDowell was concerned about pitching to Willie Mays for the first time here this afternoon. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Foul back and out of play. And McDowell walked the first 3 men he faced, and then Staub hit a grand slammer. In a clutch situation, the ability to bring Mays off the bench and send him up there will achieve at least a little concern among the opposition. That pitch is high for a ball, 2-2. Concern that would not, in many cases, otherwise be present. This will be a 2-2 delivery. Swung on and foul back. As you know, in the early games this season, when the Mets have needed a right-hand batter, with the right-hand platoon on the field, they have had to use Don Hahn. So the question gets to be that in some circumstances during the season when you need a clutch base hit, or clutch base runner, would you prefer to have Don Hahn at the plate or Willie Mays? 2-2 to count to Fragosi, with 1 man out and nobody on base. Now the pitch. Swung on and missed. McDowell strikes out Fragosi. As the big fella is settled down now to strike out Jones and Fragosi back to back, and Ted Martinez is coming up. He's hitting .308. He's had 2 runs batted in. Played third base yesterday as Fragosi was given a rest. Martinez has played second base in the right-hand platoon this year. He's a fellow who has a world of speed, a strong arm. Swinging a foul ball off and out of play. The general manager of the Mets, Bob Sheffing, was saying just before the ball game in evaluating the current team that he thinks one big improvement is the Mets is in their bench, and that they now have infield insurance in Ted Martinez, Wayne Garrett, Willie Mays at first, Jim Beecham, and that they are able in that manner to protect themselves against injury. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's high for a ball. It's 1-1. In other years, when the Mets lost a key performer, it was a tremendous hindrance because they could not back him up off the bench. A strong bench is almost a necessity for a team making a run at a pennant. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. It's 1-2. Jerry Grody is on deck. Montreal Expos coming here tomorrow night. We'll bring you radio coverage at 8 p.m. New York time tomorrow night. There'll be no telecast tomorrow night. Here's a swing and a foul ball backing out of play. 1-2. John Maddox will be pitching for the Mets as they go against the Expos, who will send right-hander Bill Stoneman to the mound. Maddox has won 3 and lost none for the Mets. Stoneman has won 3 and he's lost 3. Sam McDowell with the 1-2 delivery. Missed high and away, so it's 2-2. McDowell has had complete game victories in his last 3 starts over Montreal, Philadelphia, and Montreal again. Here's 2-2. Swung on and missed. So McDowell has come back to strike out the side. He got Jones, Fregosi, and Martinez swinging, but he gave up 4 runs. Only 1 hit, 3 walks, no errors, and none left. And at the end of an inning, the score is the Mets 4 and the Giants nothing.
Tucked away, we'll start the table savings, and you'll be on your way. New bills for tomorrow, a little bitty strike. Take stock in America, buy U.S. savings bonds.
And now the Giants come up in the top of the second inning as we saw some kind of a performance in the bottom half of the first. Sam McDowell walked the first 3 batters, gave up a grand slam home run to the 4th, and struck out the next 3. Now Sadecki faces Ken Henderson. He's a switch hitter batting right. Henderson is hitting 185. He has 3 home runs and 9 runs batted in. Sadecki's pitch. Right in there for a call strike, and Jim Hart is on deck. The Los Angeles Dodgers scheduled against the Phillies in Philadelphia this afternoon, postponed because of rain in Philadelphia. Here's a pitch outside. San Diego Padres, who have won 7 of their last 9 under manager Don Zimmer, are at Montreal today. The Expos under Gene Mauch have lost 4 in a row now. Clay Kirby 3-1 for San Diego. Mike Torres 2-0 for Montreal. Foul ball backing out of play on a breaking pitch. It's 1-2 to Henderson. St. Louis Cardinals and the Cincinnati Reds are playing a doubleheader in Cincinnati. Midway of the 4th inning, first game. Cincinnati 2, Cardinals nothing. Scipio Spinks 2-1 against Jim McLaughlin 0-3. 1-2 pitch. High for a ball. 2-2. Pittsburgh Pirates are at Houston. The Astros have lost 5 of their last 6 now. Nelson Briles 2-0 against Don Wilson 1-2. This is a 2-2 pitch to Henderson. Hit high in the air to the left side. Shortstop Bud Harrelson calls. He waits, he makes the catch. There's 1 away, and Jim Hart is coming up. Hart has been up 3 times. We pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
This is your New York Mets Baseball Radio Network stations, WYZR and WYZR-FM, Johnstown, New York.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Ralph Kiner and Bob Murphy at Shea Stadium. Hart rejoined the Giants yesterday, coming up from Phoenix to replace Willie Mays on the roster. He went hitless in 3 trips. It's a breaking pitch, high and away. Chicago Cubs are at Atlanta this afternoon under Leo DeRocher. The Cubs have won 8 of their last 9 games. Milt Pappas 3-2 for the Cubs. Phil Niekro, a knuckleballer, 4-3 for Atlanta. That pitch is low for a ball. It's 2-0. Over in the American League, the New York Yankees play the Cal Angels later in the afternoon at Anaheim, California. Here's a 2-0 pitch. Fouled off, it's 2-1. In Cleveland, at the end of 2 innings, the Texas Rangers of Ted Williams won, and the Cleveland Indians won. Cleveland's won 9 of 11, and the Indians are in second place in the Eastern Division of the American League behind the league-leading Detroit Tigers. Jim Schellenbach against Gaylord Perry, who's won 5 and lost 2 for Cleveland. Cossey homered in the second with nobody on his second. Ray Fosse, and it is low for a ball. It's 3-1. Detroit Tigers and the Kansas City Royals are playing 2 today in Kansas City, midway of the second inning. No score. Coleman against Fitzmaurice. Ground ball foul back of third. Milwaukee Brewers did not score in the top half of the first inning with the Minnesota Twins coming to bat. It's Skip Lockwood 0-1 against Jim Cott, 3-0 for Minnesota. Boston Red Sox are at Oakland on the West Coast later, and the Baltimore Orioles are at Chicago against the White Sox. McNally against Bradley. Pitch to Hart on the ground, up the middle, goes through for a base hit for Jim Hart. Second hit for the Giants off Ray Sadecki, gives them a base runner with 1 man out. Brings up rookie left fielder Gary Maddox. He's hitting .236 since coming up from Phoenix, where he was off to a great start this year. He has had 7 runs batted in. The Mets are leading by a score of 4-0. And this the top half of the second inning with a light rain falling steadily here at Shea Stadium. Willie Mays at first base. Plays a step or 2 off the bag now. He's not holding against the runner because of the fact that the Mets have a 4-run lead. They don't figure the run will be going. That pitch is outside for a ball. It's one of the axioms in baseball that trailing by 4, you don't take a chance with trying to build 1. That you don't run the man at first in trying to build 1 run because that won't particularly help you, and you take a chance of not getting it. You try to get him in bunches. Here's a swing and a miss. It's 1-1. So Willie Mays at first. He's playing behind the runner, Jim Hart. This will be a 1-1 pitch. It's on the way. High. We were talking to Tom McKenna, the Mets trainer, on the pregame show today. He was the trainer at Minneapolis when Willie Mays was called up to the major leagues in 1951. He was saying that in those days he was convinced Willie could have played any position at all in the major leagues. Shortstop, the outfield, first base. There's a pitch high and away. 3-1. Fran Healy, the catcher, is on deck. The Giants that year of 51 won on opening day and then lost 11 straight ball games. Here's a 3-1 pitch, swung on and missed. It's 3-2. Willie Mays was hitting .477 at Minneapolis, so the word went down for him to join the big club. Minneapolis was playing in Sioux City, Iowa. Trainer Tom McKenna was sent over to the theater, the movie house in Sioux City, to get Willie to bring him back to the clubhouse. Ground ball foul back at third, and when he got there, he was, of course, informed that he was going to the major league. This is his 22nd year in the major league. Played 6 years with the Giants. He was out in 52 in military service. He played 14 seasons in San Francisco. Playoff pitch, swung on, hit in the air. Right center field, Rusty Staub over the wet grass, calls for it. And he makes the catch. Halfway, Jim Hart retreats to first. There are 2 men out, and Francis Xavier Healy is coming up. He's hitting 4 for 45, .089, but one of them was a home run, and he's batted in 7 runs. The New York Mets are on top in the Eastern Division of the National League. They've opened up a 2.5-game lead over the second-place Phillies and a 4-game lead over the third-place Montreal Expos. They're on down. They're bunched up a little bit. Pitch is low for a ball. The team that everybody picked to repeat the Eastern Division of the National League, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the world champions, are still only 4 1/2 games out of first place, despite the fact of a slow start. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Healy, and it's low for a ball, and Ray Sadecki goes behind 2-0. Sadecki was involved in a big trade when he was a Cardinal pitcher. He was traded to the Giants for Orlando Cepeda in an even-up player-for-player trade. That's low for a ball. There had been rumors of that trade, and Sadecki said that he began to take it seriously when the Giants came into St. Louis and he saw the Cardinal doctors examining Cepeda's knee. He thought there might be something to it, and there was. Here's a 3-0 delivery now. Outside on a walk. It is the first walk given up by Sadecki. It moves Hart to second and brings up Sam McDowell. Now at the plate, Sam's had 3 hits and 16 times at bat. 6 feet 6 inches tall, 220-pounder, bats left-handed, big fella. The Mets lead 4-0. Giants batting in the top of the second inning. Left-hander against left-hander. Sadecki's pitch swung on and popped up foul back near the stands. Grody hopes for a play, but it's drifting on. It's in the seats and out of play. So it is strike one to Sam McDowell. Met manager Yogi Berra has his pitching rotation set up now for the Montreal series coming up. Tomorrow night he'll start with John Maddox. Tuesday night Tom Seaver. Wednesday night Gary Gentry. And Thursday afternoon Jim McAndrew. Those 4 games will conclude the current Met homestand. They go on the road then to Philadelphia, Chicago, and St. Louis. Booing is for youngster trying to get a baseball off the screen and failing to do it. Here's a pitch. Bunted toward third, foul and out of play. Grody diving and skidding along and trying to get to it, but he could not. The hand is for Grody, who gave us a big effort and skidded along on his shoulder and turned over on his back and trying to get to that foul pop up the third baseline. He calls time and he's getting a towel from the dugout now. Clean himself up a little bit because it's wet and it's muddy even on the grass. Willie Mays comes over from his post at first now to talk to Ray Sadecki. They were teammates in San Francisco. Mets have another ball player in the dugout, Dave Marshall, who was a teammate of Willie Mays in San Francisco. The pregame show the other night we said to Dave, Willie Mays enjoys playing baseball, doesn't he? And he said, Willie Mays enjoys living. I think that's right. Willie bubbles most of the time. The Giants have runners at first and second. Grody's behind the plate again. It's a 2-strike count now to Sam McDowell. Big Sam was trying to bunt his way on with 2 men out and trailing by 4 runs. Here's a swing and a miss. Sadecki strikes him out and the sides retire. So it's no runs, a hit, a walk, no errors, and 2 men left. In the middle of the second, the score is the Mets 4, the Giants nothing.
New York Mets baseball brought to you by Sarris's Restaurant. For the finest meals with the extra added home-cooked touch, it's Sarris's Restaurant on Main Street in Fonda. Sarris's cooking will melt in your mouth. Willie features the finest foods at moderate prices. And say, you truck drivers, enjoy a bit of home cooking at Sarris's today. Just a jump from the New York State Thruway. So remember, for luscious home-cooked meals to keep you satisfied with good eating at moderate prices, stop at Sarris's Restaurant on Main Street in Fonda, New York.
This is McDonald Carey. 40,000 people will be hurt on the job today, and 55 will be killed. It's a terrible waste, but it can be prevented. There's a new national job safety and health law to help, but the law needs your backing. If you're an employee, stay alert on the job and think safety full time. If you're an employer, follow the job safety standards set by the U.S. Labor Department. Remember, job safety is everyone's job.
As the Mets come up in the bottom of the second inning, it'll be Jerry Grody to lead off, facing Sam McDowell. Grody is hitting .258, 1 homer, 7 runs batted in. He's getting a hand for his great effort to catch that foul pop a moment ago, and his uniform is a mess. Cleaning off the bat a little bit now as Grody is still outside the batter's box. Ray Sadecki has moved up on deck, of course, wearing the jacket on a day like today. Sam McDowell's pitch is high for a ball. Start him off with a fastball. Big Sam can throw one. He had a little arm trouble earlier this year, but really pitched his way out of that difficulty. It says right now he's just fine. What he had was a sore arm. It's 1-0 now. Pitch is low for a ball. It's 2-0. Of course, a pitcher during the course of the season will have all sorts of little ailments, and the mark of the great one is that he can finesse his way while he is not at full strength. That's in for a call strike. It's 2-1. By the way, Tom Seaver reports that the full leg muscles that bothered him in his last 3 starts have completely healed. He says he isn't bothered at all right now. His 2-1 pitch swung on, popped up to the right side. Right fielder Bobby Bonds moves up and calls, looking up into the rain, and he makes the catch. So there's one away, and Ray Sadecki is the batter. Sadecki has been up only 1 time this season. Sadecki is used as a spot starter, as he is here today. He is used in long relief. Valuable man to have around because he is a Major League veteran who in 1964 won 20 games for the world champion St. Louis Cardinals. inside for a ball. As a matter of fact, when the Cardinals played against the Yankees in the World Series that year, Sadecki pitched the opening game for the Cardinals. Now the pitch. High and tight for a ball. It wasn't altogether that he was the absolute number one choice. It was that Bob Gibson had been used in relief on the final day of the season to enable the Cardinals to beat the Mets and win the National League pennant. Here's a 1-1 pitch. It's low for a ball. 2-1. Willie Mays kneeling on deck, number 24. That's a sight that the Met fans will take a little getting used to. That's a swing and a foul ball off and out of play. 2-2 now to Sadecki. It was almost an instant love affair between Willie Mays and the New York Met fans when he came up in 1951. Till the day he left, it continued, and then in all the years he was in San Francisco, whenever the Giants and Mays came back here, he was greeted affectionately. Here's a ground ball to second, played by Puentes over to Kingman at first in time. Puentes retreated about 2 steps onto the grass to make the play, and Willie Mays will be coming up as soon as he gives Sadecki time to get back to the dugout. As a leadoff man, that's one of his duties. Now he's coming up. The ovation is for Mays. Well, I know that Willie is glad that today's ball game did, in fact, get underway despite the bad weather, and that he got to make the debut and get that over with. And he's been at bat, and he's drawn a walk, and he scored a run, and here's the pitch. Swung on and foul back. It's out of play for strike one. That was a fastball served up there by McDowell. The walk thrown by Mays was his 18th this season, far more than any Met has so far. There's a swing and a miss. Wasn't a full cut. He was trying to check. It's 0-2. But that's another way that Mays will be able to help the New York Mets. Getting on base. The 0-2 pitch. It's high and it's tight. He rocks back. 1-2. McDowell looks into Fran Healy for the sign. 2 men out, nobody on base. Mets leading 4-0. Pitch to Mays is low, and it bounds off the shin guard of Healy up the first baseline. Out of play. Counts 2 balls and 2 strikes to Willie Mays. If you have followed the New York Mets since 1962 when they began and won only 40 games while losing 120, the very sight of Willie Mays in a uniform that says Mets across the front of the shirt has got to do something for you. McDowell kicks at the rubber a couple of times. This will be a 2-2 pitch to Mays. Swung on and missed. Mays took the cut and struck out. Strikeout number 4 for Sam McDowell as he got the Mets in order here. Nothing across. And at the end of 2 innings, the score is the Mets 4 and the Giants nothing.
One good thing about professional ball players, you can count on every man giving his best, and then something extra. Pro baseball players call this second effort. Time after time, a real professional makes a second effort, and that's why his team wins ball games. When you buy insurance, you should look for the same kind of second effort. Get your insurance from a professional independent agent. And if you want a pro you can count on to give you his best, turn to Fields & Baxter when you buy insurance for your automobile, your home, or your business. Fields & Baxter Agency Incorporated at 14 North Market Street in Johnstown are professional independent agents. If you buy insurance through them and you ever have a claim, you'll really appreciate the second effort they put forth to make sure that you get fast, fair payment. So for the best kind of insurance, see a pro. See Fields & Baxter Agency Incorporated, located at 14 North Market Street in Johnstown. They're professionals at Fields & Baxter, bringing you New York Mets baseball.
And now the Giants come up in the top of the third. It's still raining at Shea, and here for the play-by-play, Ralph Kiner.
Thank you, Lindsey Nelson. Incidentally, if you just joined us, Sam McDowell struck out the side in the first inning. He also walked three and gave up one base hit, a grand slam home run to Rusty Staub, and the Mets lead 4-0. Chris Spire will lead off for the second time in the ball game. He flied out to right field his first time up in the first. Ray Sadecki on the mound for the Mets. And Spire tries to bunt his way on, but bunts the ball foul way out of play. It bounces one bounce into the stands, is fielded there. Dow now has gone past Grover Cleveland Alexander in the all-time list of career strikeouts. Dow with 4 in this ball game now has 2,199, and he takes over 15th place on the all-time list, just ahead of Grover Cleveland Alexander. Ground ball toward third. Fregosi has it. Fires over to Mays. One away. That'll bring up Tito Puentes. He doubled his first time up with one out, was left at second base as Sadecki got Bonds to ground out and Kingman to pop up. Puentes in this series 2 for 9 and has an average of 270. Right-hand batter against the left-hand pitcher. Mets leading 4-0. Puentes moves out in bunny position, takes a strike. Giants got one thing to do here with the threat of rain, and it is still drizzling very, very slightly, is delay the game. There's a base hit that will delay the game as it goes up the middle into center field, and Puentes 2 for 2. Now with one away, a man at first base, Bobby Bonds comes up. Bonds grounded out to shortstop his first time up. Average at 287. In this series, he's 2 for 7. Skies have lightened here at Shea. First pitch, a curve blown away by Sadecki, who's making his first start. He has no record this year. Lifetime, he has won 114 games. He has lost 114 games. And the left-hander back again. Bonds hits a hard smash. Harrelson makes a play on it, throws over to Martinez. The throw to first is not in time. But a base hit taken away by Harrelson as he made a one-hand grab. The force of the blow knocked him down to his knees, and from a kneeling position he threw to Martinez covering at second for the force play. Martinez got a good throw off to first base, but Bonds, who gets down that line, beat the throw by a step. So Bud Harrelson sparkling once again. 2 men away, it brings up Dave Kingman. Kingman popped up to first base his first time up. He's 3 for 6 in the series. Throw to first base, Bonds chased back. The Mets leading 4-0. Kingman would not figure to be looking for Bonds to run here, as he's in a situation where the long ball is the big one. First pitch, a curve into there, it's ball 1. Bonds has 6 stolen bases. He's been thrown out once. That was by Jerry Grody yesterday. And the pitch. Called a strike. Fastball to knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. I said he's thrown out by Jerry Grody yesterday. It was by Duffy Dyer. Ground ball over to third, picked up quickly by Jim Fregosi, and the throw to second base is in time for the force play on Bobby Bonds. Another good play, as that ball, if it had not been handled towards second, would have been a base hit. So 2 good plays. And the side retired. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left in the score at the end of 2.5 innings. The Mets 4, the Giants nothing.
Probably the most important financial and personal decision you will make in your lifetime is the one to buy a home. It represents one of, if not the largest financial commitment a family can make. Doesn't it make sense then to use the aid of a professional? Florence Italy Realtor is a professional. She is a member of the National Association of Real Estate Boards. Florence Italy and her sales staff can help you buy the most home for your money and the one satisfying your needs. Call Florence Italy Realtor today at 762-8500. 762-8500.
Life is a mystery when you don't see things as they are. Clear it up with regular examinations by a vision specialist. That's good advice from the American Optometric Association.
Remember last week when you said next week you'd spend more time with your children? It's next week. A thought from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
It's the bottom of the third. The Mets leading 4-0. Rain has stopped here at Shea, and the first pitch to Bud Harrelson as he leads off is a curveball on inside ball 1. The Mets have had 4 runs on 1 hit. The 1 hit, a grand slam home run by Rusty Staub. It came after 3 walks by Sam McDowell. Next pitch is high, ball 2. McDowell missing with a fastball. At the end of 3, Montreal 4. They got 4 in the first. San Diego nothing. Mike Torres against Clay Kirby. There's one down the line. If it's fair, extra bases, it is a foul ball. Now upgrading that Montreal-San Diego score at the end of 4.5. Montreal 4, San Diego nothing. Cincinnati defeated St. Louis in the first game of the doubleheader 4-3. Winning pitcher was Don Gullett in relief. He's now 1-2. The losing pitcher was Grabowski in relief. Brock, Haig, and Perez had home runs for Perez's fifth. The end of 3, Chicago 1, Atlanta 1. Pappas against Negro. Cardinal a home run. It was his third of the year. Here the Mets lead 4-0. And the 2-1 pitch to Harrelson popped up. Shortstop Chris Spire looking at Puentes, who comes across on the shortstop side to make the catch. And it's one away.
Center fielder, Tommy Agee.
Gonna bring up Tommy Agee. Tommy walked his first time up. Average staying at 287. The Dodgers and the Philadelphia Phillies rained out. Pittsburgh and Houston to start. Nelson Briles 2-0 against Don Wilson 1-2. First pitch to Agee by McDowell. A curve inside, ball 1. Sutton Sam on the mound, and the pitch back. Curveball again, swung on a miss. 1-1 in the American League. The Yankees later at California at the end of 6. It's Texas 2, Cleveland 2. Fosse and Leone have had home runs. Schellenbach pitching for Texas. Gaylord Perry pitching for Cleveland. Perry with a record of 5-2 for the Indians. Here's a fastball fouled off, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Into 2.5, Kansas City 1, Detroit nothing. Coleman against Al Fitzmaurice. Coleman 4-2 for the season. That's the first game of 2. Now a pitch for a ball. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. The end of 3, Minnesota 4, Milwaukee nothing. Skip Lockwood going for for Milwaukee, and Cott going for Minnesota. Cott 3-0. The 2-2 pitch. Agee swings and misses, and McDowell has his 5th strikeout. So with 2 away, it brings up Rusty Staub, and it's his grand slam home run that has put the Mets in front 4-0. The end of 2.5 innings, Chicago 2, Baltimore nothing. McNally against Tom Bradley. The White Sox got 2 in the first. McNally had given up only 5 runs up to this point in the season. It all came at one time. Now pitch to Staub, a curve. It's ball 1. Rusty hit a fastball out of the ballpark for his grand slammer. It was his 3rd career grand slam home run. Pitch back to Staub. Inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Again, a breaking ball. Rusty came into this ball game as the Mets' leading batter against left-hand pitching with a 375 average, 2 home runs and 6 runs batted in. He now has had, there's a curve over for a strike. All of his home runs against left-hand pitching, and he has 10 RBIs off left-hand pitching and only 1 off right. There's one hit right back to the mound. Dow fields the ball easily, throws over to first base, and the side is retired. In the inning, a 1-2-3 inning, the second in a row for McDowell. He now has retired 9 straight batters after the grand slam home run, and the score at the end of 3. The Mets 4, the San Francisco Giants nothing.
Absolutely. Oh, well, thank you. Really?
Good old Harry. What a host. When Harry throws a party, nobody goes thirsty. Here, let me freshen up that drink. Good old Harry is such a great host. How come Bill and Jean had such a terrible fight?
I want to go home right now.
Why not? It's a great fight.
I don't care.
Such a drink.
No, I want to go home right now. Now
How come Bob had a little trouble driving home? And how come everybody who felt so good last night feels so bad this morning? Maybe good old Harry is not such a great host after all. Maybe good old Harry is a pusher, a neighborhood pusher. Harry pushes alcohol. So if you serve alcohol, please, don't be a pusher. And if you're a guest, don't let good old Harry or anyone else push you into drinking more than you want.
A public service message from this station and the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism.
It's the top of the 4th inning, the Giants coming up. Mets leading by a score of 4-0, and the first batter for the Giants will be Ken Henderson, the switch-hitting center fielder. He popped the shortstop his first time up. Ray Sadecki on the mound, his first pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. Sadecki picking up the strike on the fastball. It'll be Ken Henderson, Jim Hart, and Gary Maddox hitting for the Giants against Sadecki as their first 3 batters in this inning. And the pitch, breaking ball, it's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mrs. Payson, the principal owner of the Mets, out here today to watch the ball game. She had been hospitalized. Hospitalized is not quite the way it's pronounced. The 2-1 delivery to Henderson. Foul back into the stands. Count goes to 2-2. Ken Henderson, who was really not groomed as the heir apparent for the center field job when Mays was no longer a Giant. It had been Bobby Bonds, but Henderson has taken over in center field, and Bonds has stayed him right. And at 2-2, the pitch popped up on the first base side in foul territory. Grody over to make the catch, and Henderson is out. Well, let's see, Lindsay. Willie Mays replaced Bobby Thompson in center field, I guess.
Yes, I guess he did, because Thompson had been playing center, and then he moved over, and then Thompson played some third after that.
Right. Back in 1951. This is the start of his 22nd season. Now Jim Hart, the batter. He singled his first time up. First pitch outside, a curveball missing. It's ball 1. Hart's had 1 hit and 4 times up in the major leagues this year. He batted .301 at Phoenix.
Thompson figured in another pretty good switch. He went over to Milwaukee, broke his ankle, and from Jacksonville, Florida, they brought up a fellow named Henry Aaron.
2 great ball players replacing him. That's pretty good. That's way above par. Pitch for a strike in the count, 1-1. And now Sadecki at the knees and getting strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The next pitch is high. So Thompson made room for 1,291 home runs for those 2 fellas.
And all of those might not equal the 1 that he hit.
1951 and 1 heard around the world. Here's a pitch outside for a ball. It's ball 3. Of course, Bobby hit that home run in the playoff against Brooklyn to put Giants in the World Series in the 9th inning in 1951. Next pitch has popped up in foul territory. Grody over by the Met dugout. He has room. And he makes the play, and Jim Hart has fouled out.
You know, so many strange things happen dramatically in baseball. I knew a sports writer from Edinburgh, Scotland, who used to come over here to cover boxing, and I said to him one time, "Have you ever seen an American baseball game?" He said, "Only one." I said, "What one?" "Oh, he said it was a game at the Polo Grounds where a Scotsman hit a home run."
The flying Scot, Bobby Thompson. That's pretty good luck right there. That brings up Gary Maddox, the left fielder. Maddox fired out to right center his first time up, and he takes high, ball 1. Mets leading 4-0. Sadecki back, and the pitch is popped up into shallow right. Rusty stop, pounds the glove, moves in, gets under it, makes a one-hand catch, and the side is retired in order for the first time by Ray Sadecki. And the score after 3.5 innings. The Mets 4, the San Francisco Giants 0. Well, a ticket to a Met game undoubtedly is one of the best entertainment buys in New York today. That's why it pays to order Met gift certificates, especially if you're having a problem deciding an appropriate gift for an upcoming occasion. There is sense to go over big with both youngsters and oldsters alike. And they can be exchanged for tickets to any home game at Shea Stadium during the 1972 season. Certificates are priced at $4 for box seats. For each box seat, $3 for each reserve seat. So, you're looking for an ideal birthday, confirmation, or graduation gift, or even Father's Day for that matter coming up. Place your order now by writing to Ticket Manager, Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York, 11368. That's Ticket Manager, Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York, 11368. We pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
These are your New York Mets Baseball Radio Network stations, WIZR and WIZR-FM, Johnstown, New York. The time, 3:30.
Ralph Kiner, along with Lindsey Nelson and Bob Murphy from Shea Stadium. We're moving to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Mets leading 4-0. The game delayed officially 29 minutes by the light drizzle that fell here from about noon on. Right now it's stopped, or practically has stopped. First batter for the Mets will be Cleon Jones against Sam McDowell, and the first pitch is outside, ball one. McDowell has not given up a base hit since the grand slam home run by Rusty Staub, retiring his next 9 batters. And the pitch back to Jones, a curve for a called strike. 1-1. But 3 walks. Willie Mays, Bud Harrelson, and Tommy Agee set it up for the Mets' only base hit, and it was a grand slammer by Rusty Staub. Pitch back to Jones, a swing and a miss. It's 1-2. McDowell then struck out the next 3 batters, and he has struck out 5 of his last 9. 6'6", 220-pound left-hander Sam McDowell from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Next pitch back, grounded out to third. Jim Hardover take it on the short hop, go to first base for the out. That'll bring up Jim Fregosi, who has struck out. Jones before the out, hitting at .333. Fregosi coming up, batting at .262. Mets leading 4-0, and now it is starting to drizzle just a little bit harder. 1 out, bottom of the 4th inning. First pitch to Fregosi, breaking ball inside and low, ball 1. 1-0 pitch, breaking ball in for a called strike. 1-1. McDowell has won 127 games in his lifetime career, 109 losses. Hard smash by Hart down the left field line. It'll be a fair ball, and Fregosi trying for 2. The throw by Maddox will not be in time. Fregosi goes in with a stand-up double. So Jim Fregosi with his 5th double, his 9th extra base hit, and the Mets have a runner in scoring position with 1 out, and Ted Martinez coming up. That is the Mets' 2nd hit. Martinez was struck out his first time up. Ted batting an even .300. And McDowell's first delivery. Curveball foul back into the stands, strike 1. Pittsburgh got 2 runs in the top of the first. Houston now coming up. Pittsburgh with a record of 11-11 at .500. Nelson Browse pitching for the Pirates. Houston has Don Wilson on the mound, and now Sam McDowell checking out his spikes. Giants going to do everything they can to slow this game down. The only chance they have right now to get back in it is to have it called off. And it is raining. Chris Byer came in to check out McDowell's spikes, make sure that they were not too sharp. Now he's back to the shortstop position, and time is in. Chris Palacutis trying to speed up the action, the home plate umpire. One strike count. Martinez grounds the ball foul over toward the Giant dugout. Cedeno has hit a 2-run home run for Houston to tie up the game with Pittsburgh at 2-2. And Watson now is homered behind Cedeno, and Houston has taken the lead at 3-2 on the 2 home runs. Watson getting his 3rd, Cedeno his 1st. Once again, time slowed up as the catcher, Healy, goes out to talk with McDowell, so Giants are trying to use the elements out here. 2-strike pitch to Martinez, called strike 3. Pitch over the outside corner as McDowell throws a curveball that just caught the outside corner. McDowell getting his 6th strikeout. Now at 2 men out, it brings up Jerry Grody. Jerry flied out to right field his first time up, hitting at .254. They're going to put him on. So again, time is going to be consumed here, although this move would be a logical move. Putting the catcher on to pitch to the pitcher. Pitch outside, ball 1, now ball 2. Sky's lightening up once again. And ball 3. This will be McDowell's fourth walk, and his first 3 walks were not intentional. They really cost him. He walked the first 3 batters, Mays, Harrelson, and Agee. Then Staub hit a home run for a grand slammer. Mets leading 4-0. Now ball 4, and Grody has walked intentionally. It brings up Ray Sadecki. Sadecki grounded out to second base his first time up. He's been up twice without a hit this year. On at second base. Jerry Grody, the runner at first. 2 men away, bottom half of the 4th. First pitch, a curveball. Wild swing and a miss, strike 1. Dow working very, very slowly. And the pitch back to Sadecki. Again the curve, again a wild swing and a miss, strike 2. 2 curveballs by McDowell to Sadecki, and Sadecki pulling away from the ball. Next pitch is grounded foul over toward the on-deck batter, Willie Mays. Actually tapped back toward home plate by Willie. He takes his bat, bunts the ball back. 2 strike count. Once again, McDowell back and a swing and a miss, strike 3. McDowell getting his 7th strikeout. 1 hit, no errors, a walk, and 2 men left in the score. At the end of 4, the Mets 4, San Francisco Giants, nothing.
Hi, this is Kathy Ogden, your extension home economist, with a message for consumers. Did you eat breakfast this morning? Well, congratulations if you did. Many people, especially teenagers, fail to eat breakfast. The informal lifestyle in America today may promote casual, haphazard eating habits. Also, schedules for family members are frequently different, and without planning, it's easy to see how breakfast preparation can become difficult. If your evening meal includes bread or rice pudding or a custard, make an extra supply for a nourishing, speedy breakfast the next morning. Combine this with a glass of orange juice and you can make a nutritionally balanced breakfast. Teenagers may be intrigued by a sandwich breakfast, and a good supply of fixing may be on hand, like peanut butter, sliced cheese, or ham. Whatever you prefer to serve for breakfast or your family members find most acceptable, it's important to form the habit of eating breakfast each day.
After the rain almost stopped, it is raining again steadily here at Shea Stadium, and for this game to be official, this half inning must be completed. The Mets are leading by a score of 4-0, and with a home club out front, 4 1/2 innings must be completed in order for the game to become official. Ray Sadecki has been in all the way for the New York Mets, and he's facing Fran Healy. Right-hand batting catcher has been up one time and drew a walk. Here's a pitch swung on and fouled off. It's strike 1. The lights are on. They've been on from the start of play here today, as the start of the ball game was delayed for 29 minutes because of rain. Now Sadecki's pitch to Healy, and it's low for a ball. It's 1-1. When play finally did begin in that first inning, Sadecki got Spire on a fly ball to right. Wednesday's double, but Bonds grounded out and Kingman popped out to account for the Giants' first inning. Here's a pitch high, and then the Mets sent up Willie Mays. Willie, coming up for his first time as a Met, got a standing ovation here at Shea, and he worked out a base on balls from Sam McDowell. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Low, it's 3-1. And McDowell then, after walking Mays, walked Harrelson and Agee to load the bases. And Rusty Staub hit a grand slam home run to right field. Then, Sam McDowell struck out the side, getting Jones, Fregosi, and Martinez in order. But the Mets had their 4 runs. This pitch is outside, and Healy draws a leadoff walk. So Sadecki, for the second time in this ballgame, has walked Healy. Now McDowell is giving way to a pinch hitter here. Coming up to bat is Bernie Williams. Bernie Williams is coming up to bat for Sam McDowell. So McDowell is out of the ball game.
Number 20, Bernie Williams.
Williams has been up 3 times without a hit. He is a right-hand batter. So Sam McDowell is credited with 4 innings, in which he gave up 4 runs, allowed only 2 hits, but won a grand slam homer, struck out 7, and walked 4, one of them intentionally. Here's a swing and a drive into center field. And Agee can't get it. He slips down. The ball's going all the way to the wall. Around for third and coming home is Healy. Williams on his way to third. He may try it inside the Parker. He's held at third with a triple and a run batted in. Bernie Williams delivered a line drive to the left side of center. Agee went over, and in making a dive, slipped, fell along the wet grass out there, and the ball rolled all the way to the wall. So it is a triple, a run batted in. It is the Mets 4 and the Giants 1. Top of the batting order, Chris Spire coming up now for the Giants, batting in the top of the 5th inning. We're getting action in the Met bullpen as well as action in the Giant bullpen. Don Carruthers is a right-hander throwing for the Giants. Jim McAndrew is working for the Mets. That pitch is high for a ball. Tito Puentes is on deck. Sadecki takes the sign now. Here is the 1-0 pitch. Swung on line into right center, a base hit. That'll score another run. It is rolling far out into center, and going to second is Spire. Agee drops the ball. Spire standing at second. Williams scoring from third on the play, and it is the Mets 4, the Giants 2. And now with nobody out, pitching coach Rube Walker's going out to the mound. It is Puentes who will be coming up, and he'll be tying run at the plate. Things have taken on a change of complexion here quickly in the top half of the 5th inning. Moments ago, the New York Mets were looking to get through this half inning in a hurry to get the 4.5 in case of a change in the weather. Now it is the Giants who are threatening as they have the tying run at the plate, a runner at second, nobody out. Puentes has had 2 hits today. He has doubled and singled against Sadecki. Rube Walker has turned and gone back to the dugout. Giants have had 5 hits. The Mets have had only 2. As a switch hitter, Puentes is batting right-handed, which is his natural side. Here's a pitch. He squares and takes the pitch high for a ball. Bobby Bonds is at the bat rack, putting on the hard hat at this moment before coming out on deck. The power in the Giant batting order coming up here in the top half of the 5th inning. Mets 4, Giants 2. Got those 2 runs about as quickly as you can get to. Here's a swing and a drive deep to left. It could be out of here. It's going. It is a home run, and the score is tied. The ball is caught in the bullpen by Carruthers, and now it is a 4-4 ball game. Tito Puentes with his 2nd home run of the year over the left field fence, warming up out there. Don Carruthers caught the ball. And quickly the Giants are back even with the Mets. Now it's Bobby Bonds who's up. Starts to swing and takes low. Jerry Gertie wants the first base umpire to give an opinion. He says he didn't swing. Bonds has grounded out and grounded into a force play so far. Sadecki's pitch swung on and missed. It's 1-1. There's still nobody out. And the Giants have scored 4 runs here quickly in the top of the 5th inning. Here's the 1-1, and it's low for a ball. Well, one thing that has been accomplished is that Sam McDowell cannot be the losing pitcher. No matter what, he came into the game with a record of 5 wins and no losses. He cannot be the loser. Here's a pitch fouled off the end of the bat, and it's 2-2. Dave Kingman is waiting on deck. Sadecki's pitch swung on, fouled off. Count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the Mets got 4 runs in the bottom of the first. The Giants have come back to get 4 in the top of the fifth. McAndrew still throwing in the Met bullpen. Here's the 2-2 pitch. A little low, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes to Bobby Bonds. I guess that if he puts Bonds on, you might very well see Sadecki come out of the ball game. Giving up 4 runs without retiring a batter. Here is the 3-2 pitch. In there for a call, strike 3. Caught him looking. Second strikeout for Sadecki. Dave Kingman's coming up. He popped out and hit into a force play.
First baseman Dave Kingman, number 26.
Sadecki's pitch. Swung on, hit high in the air to left center field, and Agee drifts over now. Tommy Agee is there. Looks up into the rain and makes the catch. So there are 2 Giants out here in the top of the fifth, and Ken Henderson is the batter. Popped to short and fouled out to the catcher. Switch hitter batting right this afternoon against the left-hander, Ray Sadecki. The steady rain continues to fall here. Now the pitch, and it's low for a ball. The inning started with Fran Healy working out a walk. Then Bernie Williams came up to bat for McDowell and tripled in a run. Chris Spire doubled in another, and Puentes hit a 2-run homer. That's fouled off to the right side, out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike now to Ken Henderson. Carruthers has finished warming up down in the bullpen, so he'll be coming in for the Giants. 1-1 pitch. Swung on, fouled off to the right side. The one thing that has been accomplished this inning, as far as the Mets are concerned, favorably, is that Sam McDowell is out of the ballgame. After he walked 3 men and gave up the grand slam home run, he was about as tough as you can be out here this afternoon. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled off to the corner of the Giant dugout. Count holds at 1-2. Now Sadecki with a pitch that is a little low, and this one nicked the umpire, Chris Pellicudis. Pellicudis was nicked, and he is kneeling now, and here comes trainer Tom McKenna out to see about Pellicudis. Shag Crawford, the crew chief, coming down to see about him as well. Oh, might have hit him in the Adam's apple, the way they're opening up the front of his shirt there. There's an area where the mask lets off and the chest protector doesn't quite cover, where an umpire can be struck and is vulnerable. Tom McKenna is giving attention now to plate umpire Chris Pellicudis. Shag Crawford kneeling beside his fellow umpire there now. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes to Henderson. Now Pellicudis is straightening up, readjusting his chest protector. In the National League, chest protectors are worn generally on the outside of the on the inside of the jacket. American League, primarily they use inflated chest protectors on the outside. Jocko Conlon was the last National League umpire who used the inflated protector. He did it because he had what he considered to be a vulnerable collarbone that had been broken a time or 2. So he wanted that protection up close around the neck. Tom McKenna, the Met trainer, talking now to Pellicudis. Apparently he's going to stay in. He asked the ball boy for a supply of baseballs. Shag Crawford checks with him. Pellicudis is going to stay at his post, apparently. Joey Malfitano, the Giant first base coach, walking with Mel Steiner, the first base umpire, back down toward first, and we're about ready to continue here. Score is tied. The Giants 4, the Mets 4. We're in the top of the 5th inning. 2 men out and a 2-2 count to Ken Henderson at the plate. Now Pellicudis is behind the plate. Grody goes into his crouch, and Sadecki takes the sign. Henderson in, swings the bat loosely a time or 2. Nobody on base, and here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, hit in the air to left, and Cleon Jones is there. He's waiting, and Jones makes the catch to retire the side. But the Giants tied it up with 4 runs on 3 hits, a walk, no errors, and none left. And in the middle of the 5th inning, the score is tied. The Giants 4, the Mets 4.
The Mets play-by-play action.
You can win a free pair of Mets tickets to the Mets game of your choice in New York by stopping in and registering this week at the Agway store on the Johnstown Interior or Waltz Walk-In, 112 East State Street in Johnstown. That's right. 4 Mets tickets will be given away this week. Register at Agway or Waltz Walk-In.
The Mets play-by-play action.
Don Carruthers comes in to do the pitching now for the Giants. He is a right-hander making his 5th appearance of the year. This is the first time he's been used in relief. He worked on the 2nd of May in San Francisco against the Mets for 7 innings, and he gave up 3 runs on 7 hits and was a 4-2 loser. Overall, he has won 1 and lost 2. Sam McDowell worked 4 innings, gave up 4 runs on only 2 hits, struck out 7, and walked 4, one of them intentionally. So now in the bottom of the 5th inning, the New York Mets will be hopeful of getting to Carruthers as quickly as possible. They'll have Willie Mays up there to lead off. Right-hand batting Willie Mays facing right-hand pitcher Don Carruthers. Against the left-hander Sam McDowell, Mays has walked and struck out so far. Well, Willie's still getting the ovation each time he comes up here from the Mets fans in New York. Carruthers looks in to catcher Fran Healy for the sign. The Giants keep the bullpen warm. Here's the pitch. Fastball low, and it's ball 1. Bud Harrelson is on deck as the batting order devised by manager Yogi Berra today has Mays leading off, Harrelson batting 2nd. That pitch is high for a ball. 2-0 to Mays, and the chant of "Let's Go Mets" starts here now at Shea as the light rain continues to fall. This is a 2-0 delivery. Swung on and missed. He really took a wallop. It's 2-1. Well, he's had a couple of those cuts today, swinging with everything he has as though he's trying to hit it out. He hasn't had a home run this year. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Little in there for a called strike. It's 3-1. Or rather, it's 2-2. I beg your pardon. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Mays. Now the pitch. Outside. It's full at 3-2. Last year, Mays had 18 home runs for the Giants, most of them early in the season. Payoff pitch. Foul back and out of play, and the count holds full at 3-2 to Willie Mays. John Cumberland, a left-hander, Jim Barr, a right-hander, throwing in the bullpen for the Giants. Payoff pitch to Mays. And it's way back in left field. It could be. It's going, and it is a home run. A home run for Willie Mays. Number 647 in his career. From the crowd and in the dugout from the Mets as he belted a 3-2 pitch over the left field wall. It puts the Mets out in front by a score of 5-4. The 647th home run of Mays' career, his first of this season. Bud Harrelson is up. Bunts the ball foul. Fouled off and out of play. The run batted in by Willie Mays was his 1,860th, which ties him with Mel Ott as far as career records are concerned. 3rd among the lifetime records of men who have played in the National League. Here's the two-strike pitch to Harrelson, fouled out. The only two players in the history of the National League who have batted in more runs than Mays and Ott, who are now tied, are Stan Musial and Henry Aaron. So the Mets are out in front by a score of 5-4. Here's a swing and a miss. Carruthers strikes out Harrelson. His first strikeout, one away. We pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
This is WIZR and WIZR-FM in historic Johnstown, New York. Radio correct time, it's 1 minute before 4 o'clock, and it's now 60 degrees on the arterial.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Bob Murphy and Ralph Kiner at Shea Stadium, where this crowd has really had its money's worth this afternoon. Tommy Agee is up. Here's Carruthers' pitch. It's high. They came out just to see Willie Mays start the ball game in the uniform of the New York Mets. Instead, they saw him draw a walk and score the first run. They have just seen him hit his first home run of this season. Pitch is in for a call strike. It's 1-1. And importantly, it's the go-ahead run at this point when the rain still is falling and the Mets are batting in the bottom of the fifth inning. That pitch is high. 2 balls and a strike now. Rusty Staub is on deck. It's a big crowd today, not as big as it would have been but for the weather. Now the 2-1 delivery, and it's inside low, so Carruthers goes behind. 3 balls and a strike. Now 3-1. And it is in there for a call strike. The count is full at 3-2. The Mets started the day with a record of 16 wins and 7 losses. 2 1/2 games ahead of the second-place Phillies. Foul back and out of play. The count holds at 3-2. The Giants started with a record of 9 wins and 18 losses. 7 1/2 games back of the Western Division leading Los Angeles Dodgers. 1 1/2 games back of the 5th-place Atlanta Braves. 3-2 pitch. Outside, it's a walk to Agee. First walk given up by Carruthers. Brings up Rusty Staub, who had a grand slam homer in the first inning. Rusty Staub moving in now. On the message board, tomorrow's probable pitchers. Mets left-hander John Maddox opposes Expos Bill Stoneman in a night game at 8 o'clock. The game won't be televised. It'll be broadcast right here. 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Now Carruthers checks the runner Agee, and the pitch to the left-hand batter. Runner goes, pitches high. Healy's throw high. Agee has stolen the base. His 3rd stolen base of the season. Tommy Agee off and running and is in scoring position at second with a stolen base. Count is 1-0 to Rusty Staub. They're going to put him on now. With first base open, he'll be intentionally walked. They'll pitch to Cleon Jones and set up a double play possibility. Healy extends the glove far out to the left. Here's Carruthers' pitch. It's ball 2. And the crowd, of course, is booing the decision of manager Charlie Fox of the Giants to walk Staub. Staub has had 3 home runs this year. Oddly enough, all 3 of them off left-hand pitching. He drops the bat and goes to first base. Cleon Jones is coming up. He has struck out and grounded out so far. Jones has a batting average of .330 for the season. Mets have had only 3 base hits in the game. A homer by Staub, a double in the 4th inning by Fregosi, and the homer by Mays. Chant of let's go Mets now. Carruthers off the stretch. Runners at first and second. Pitch is in for a call strike to Cleon Jones with Jim Fregosi on deck. Well, Willie Mays is off and running in the uniform of the Mets. Should be able to settle down and just play baseball from now on out. He has had his debut, and he has hit a home run. That pitch is low for a ball. In a way, it's poetic justice that Mays has performed as he did today for the many fans who came out here this afternoon in this kind of weather to greet him in his debut in action, although he's been in uniform for the last 2 days. because they have had their money's worth in excitement. 1-1 pitch. Swung on, foul back, and it's out of play, so the count it goes to 1-2. The action is continuing down in the Met bullpen. Still Jim McAndrew throwing down there. Agee takes his lead at second, one away. Staub takes his lead at first. Carruthers with a 1-2 pitch to Cleon Jones. Runners go! Swung on and fouled off. They were off and running, and Agee got a good jump off at second base. But they return to the count holding 1-2 to Cleon Jones. Jones now settles himself carefully back into the batter's box. 1-2 pitch. Swung on, hit on the ground to second. Could be a double play. Over to Spire, and the throw to first in time. Fuentes to Spire to Kingman, and the side is out. 5 full innings in as the Mets got a run on a hit. The home of Baez, no errors, and one man left. The end of 5 innings, the score is the Mets 5, the Giants 4.
Attention gardeners. If you'd like to keep your garden blossoming with color from June till September, invest in imported quality grown Holland bulbs from Agway. Choose from shaggy flower dahlias, beautiful begonias, slender upright gladiolas, and hardy fragrant lilies. By planting your bulbs now in early spring, you'll have beautiful flowering plants this summer, and you can be sure that you have top quality imported Holland bulbs too. All bulbs meet rigid quality standards, and government inspectors have assured them of being pest free. So stop by Agway today and start planting your bulbs now for that blossoming splash of color this summer. Agway on the Johnstown Arterial. Remember, Agway has the famous Hot Point appliances and quality service.
The New York Mets bring in Jim McAndrew to do the pitching. The Mets are making a pitching change. He is making his 5th appearance of the year. He's had 3 relief appearances and the start. He has won 1 game and lost 1. Last time out in the starting role against the Dodgers, he pitched 6 innings, gave up 6 runs on 7 hits as the Mets lost the game 6-4. Ray Sadecki leaves the game as pitcher of record on the long side of a 5-4 score. Sadecki pitched 5 innings, gave up 4 runs on 6 hits, struck out 2 walks, to allowed all 4 runs in the 4th inning. So manager Yogi Berra figures he'll go right now to the bullpen. Here's today's baseball quiz on the message board and right. Which of the following pitchers has had the most 20-win seasons? Gibson, Hubble, Marichal, Wynn, or Ferguson Jenkins? Which of those pitchers has had the most 20-win seasons? Bob Gibson, Carl Hubble, Juan Marichal, Early Wynn, or Ferguson Jenkins? The answer will be posted on the message board in the bottom half of the inning. Up at Montreal, Mike Jorgensen, a former Met, has another home run, and he hit it off of former Met Ron Taylor, who is pitching, of course, for San Diego. The Giants send up Jim Hart, the third baseman, who's 1 for 2. Right-hand batter to face right-hand pitcher Jim McAndrew. Giants batting in the top of the 6th inning. Light rain still falling here. Swung on, hit off the end of the bat to the right side. Mays goes for the ball. He has it underhand now to McAndrew, and he's safe as McAndrew missed the bag. McAndrew missed the bag, and Hart is safe. Mays went for the ground ball and had it. So we'll wait for the scoring from the official scorer. Gary Maddox, the rookie left fielder, is coming up. Mays is over to hold against the runner, Jim Hart. Mets lead 5-4. McAndrew sets up now, checks the runner. Pitch is hit on the ground to the left side. Fregosi has it. He goes across to Martinez for one. There is no relay. Simply a 5-4 force play. Brian Healy's coming up. Still no indication of the scoring on Hart's play at first base. Healy has walked twice. He started the trouble in the top of the fifth inning, it was. The top of the fifth when the Giants got their 4 runs. It started with a walk to Healy leading off. Sadecki had walked Healy in the second inning as well. Willie Mays now holding against Maddox, who has excellent speed. There's a swing and a high pop to the right side. Martinez retreats to short right field and makes the catch. That will bring up, well, Carruthers is scheduled. He's not going to bat. Instead, it's going to be Howard. Jim Howard's going to bat. Jim Howard is credited with a base hit on that play over at first base, where Mays shoveled the ball over to McAndrew, who missed the bag, and it scored as a base hit. That's 7 for the Giants. Now Jim Howard is batting for Don Carruthers. Howard been up 13 times, had 3 hits, hitting .231. He's a left-hand batter. Now Willie Mays comes over from first base to the mound to say a word to McAndrew. That would be about how to pitch to Howard. Mays, who just left the Giants, giving information to McAndrew on how he thinks Howard might be pitched. That's the usual thing in baseball when a trade is made. By the way, Jim Barr is throwing in the bullpen. Apparently he's going to be the next pitcher. Howard batting for Carruthers. The Mets lead 5-4 in the top of the 6th inning. Pitch out, nothing on. It's outside for a ball. Very good. He figured that Maddox just might be running on the pitch, so the Mets call for a pitch out. Ball 1 to Howard. Left-hand batter stands well back from the plate. Throw to first, not in time. Over to Mays. He returns the ball to Jim McAndrew. There are 2 men out. Foul back and out of play. It's 1-1. Chris Spires waiting on deck for the San Francisco Giants. Montreal Expos are leading the San Diego Padres by a score of 8-1 going to the 8th inning. Clay Kirby starting for San Diego. Ron Taylor in the 6th inning. Mike Torres, who's won 2 and lost none, going for Montreal. He's a former Cardinal. Here's 1-1. Fouled off and out of play. It's 1-2. Mike Jorgensen hit a homer in the 7th with 1 on off Ron Taylor. Ron Fairley hit one in the 7th with nobody on. His first of the year. It's Jorgensen's 4th home run for Montreal. Dodgers in the field, scheduled to have played this afternoon in Philadelphia, postponed because of rain. Rain has almost stopped here once again. It's a 1-2 pitch. High and away. So it's 2-2 now to Howard. Cincinnati Reds beat the Cardinals 4-3 in the first game as Don Gillett got the win in relief and Mo Drabowski took the loss in relief. Lou Brock had his first homer in the 8th with 1 on for the Cardinals. Joe Haig had his 3rd homer. Tony Perez hit his 5th for the Cincinnati Reds. 2-2 pitch to Howard. Let up, foul on the ground back of first. Second game in Cincinnati is at the end of an inning. The Reds won the Cardinals nothing. Tom Hall for Cincinnati, and Al Santorini is going for St. Louis. In Houston, midway of the second inning, Houston leads the Pirates 3-2. Nelson Browse relieved by Bruce Keeson in the second inning. Pittsburgh, Don Wilson's pitching for Houston. Cesar Cedeno hit a Houston homer in the first with 1 on, and Watson hit his 3rd in the first with nobody on to put Houston out in front. The end of 6. It's the Chicago Cubs 1, the Atlanta Braves 1. Milt Pappas against Phil Niekro. Jose Cardinal hit his 3rd homer in the second with nobody on for Chicago. Right here with 2 men out and a runner at first, a 2-2 pitch. It is a little low and it counts full at 3-2, an automatic start for runner Gary Maddox at first. The Yankees are at California in a later start this afternoon. Going to the 10th inning, the Texas Rangers and the Cleveland Indians tied 3-3. Bill Gogolewski and Gaylord Perry, the opposing pitchers at the moment. Cassi and Leon have had home runs. First of 2 in Kansas City, midway of the 6th, Detroit 1, Kansas City 1. Throw to first, not in time. Willie Horton hit a Detroit home run in the fourth inning with nobody on his third. It's Joe Coleman against Al Fitzmaurice. Midway of the sixth inning, it's the Minnesota Twins 4 and Milwaukee 1. Bill Parsons in relief of Skip Lockwood against Jim Cott. The runner goes. The payoff pitch popped up foul back into the seats out of play. They'll have to set up and do it all over again. The Boston Red Sox are at Oakland against the A's on a latest start, and at the end of 7, it's the Chicago White Sox 3 and the Baltimore Orioles nothing. Dave McNally going for Baltimore. He's won 4 games and lost 1 this year. Tom Bradley for Chicago. He's 3-1. Rich Morales home in the 6th inning with nobody on for Chicago. It's first of the season. Nick Andrews taking a moment now to get a little mud out of his spikes out there on the mound. The Mets 5, the Giants 4. Giants are batting in the top of the 6th inning. Shea Stadium in New York. Gary Maddox at first takes his lead. He's running 3-2, hit in the air to the right side, drifting toward the stands. Grody's there, but has no play. It's out of play in the seats. So the count continues at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jim Barr continues to throw in the bullpen since Carruthers was removed for the pinch hitter in this inning. The pinch hitter who is up there right now, Howard. Maddox takes his lead. There he goes. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Fouled off again as Howard continues to foul off the 3-2 pitches. Working out Gary Maddox, who's around second and now has to go back to first. For the moment. Been that kind of a day here at Shea. It rains for a while, almost stops. It never has completely stopped this afternoon. The Mets 5 runs on only 3 hits, but 2 of them homers and 1 of them a grand slam by Staub and the other singled in by Mays. Runner goes. Here's a swing and a miss. Struck him out. Side is retired. So it's no runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. In the middle of the 6th inning, the score is the Mets 5 and the Giants 4. Big 93. Build for your tomorrow, a place to safe and sure. Just join payroll savings and make it all come true. Now you get a bonus, so make your move today. Take stock in America by U.S. Savings Bonds. Get it all together, a future safe and sure. Take stock in America by U.S. Savings Bonds. U.S. Bonds by bonds.
Number 33.
Jim Barr comes in to do the pitching now for the Giants. He is making his 11th appearance. He has no won or loss record. He's appeared twice against the Mets in San Francisco on May 2nd in a 4-2 loss. He worked 2 innings, gave up 1 run on 2 hits. He has worked here 1 inning, allowed no runs, no hits. The paid attendance here this afternoon at Shea is 35,505, and the total attendance is 36,106. 35,505 paid at Shea Stadium for this Mother's Day attraction, and the day Willie Mays made his debut on the field in action for the New York Mets. Jim Barr is taking his warm-up pitches before facing the Mets in the bottom of the 6th. Carruthers worked an inning. He gave up 1 run on 1 hit, the homer by Willie Mays. Struck out 1, walked 2, 1 of them intentionally.
Third baseman, Jim Fregosi, number 2.
And Jim Fregosi will lead off for the New York Mets. When you look at this Mets team on the field today, and you think of all the teams they have put on the field down through the years, this might very well be the strongest lineup the Mets have ever fielded. Willie Mays at first base, Ted Martinez at second, Bud Harrelson at short, and Jim Fregosi at third. An outfield of Cleon Jones, Tommy Agee, and Rusty Staub, and Jerry Grody behind the plate. Pitch is high for a ball to Fregosi, who struck out in double so far. The answer to the baseball quiz has been posted on the message board and right. Here's the pitch again. It's in for a call strike. Juan Marichal has had 6 seasons with 20 or more wins. Gibson, Wynn, Hubble, and Jenkins each have had 5. Strike on the outside corner, 1-2. Martinez is on deck. Now the 1-2 delivery. It's high and tight. Rocked him back. It's 1-2. The Mets are leading by a score of 5-4, and they're batting in the bottom of the 6th inning on a rainy day at Shea. Here's a swing and a miss. Barr strikes out Fregosi. Ted Martinez has been up twice, struck out looking and struck out swinging. Batting number 7 in the order. Barr works. Curveball hammered on the ground, foul just back at third, out of play, and it's strike 1. When you look at the Mets in the lineup today and the individual honors that have been accorded them, you get some idea of the prestige that the Mets lineup has picked up. Here's a swing and a base hit into center field for Martinez. Again, Henderson is over, up with it, plays it back, and Martinez has a single to center. That is only the 4th hit the Mets have had. It'll bring up Jerry Grody, who has slid to right and intentionally walked. Willie Mays, of course, has had as many honors as you can have in the game of baseball. Bud Harrelson was the starting shortstop for the National League All-Stars. Tommy Agee twice has been on the All-Star team during his Major League career. Rusty Staub has been an All-Star. As a member of the Montreal Expos, Cleon Jones started 1 year in left field for the National League All-Stars. Jim Fregosi was on 6 American League All-Star teams. There's a pitch low to Grody. Ted Martinez just getting a start in his professional career, and Jerry Grody was the starting catcher on the All-Star team in 1968. Add that to a pitching staff that starts with Tom Seaver. That gives you an idea of the improvement the New York Mets have made. This will be a 1-0 pitch. Martinez, great speed, is running, and the pitch is checked on. He goes back. He dug for about a half a dozen steps, and when the pitch was checked on, 1-1 to Grody, came to a skidding halt and came back. There's double barrel action in the Giant bullpen. Here's the pitch to Grody, and it's high and away. Well, it's over in Cleveland, and the Indians have defeated Ted Williams, Texas Rangers 4-3. Gaylord Perry got the win. It's his 6th win. The trade in the offseason was Sam McDowell to the Giants for Gaylord Perry. McDowell has won 5, lost none. Gaylord Perry has won 6, lost 2. Low for a ball. When McDowell was removed from the game today for a pinch hitter, he was pitcher of record on the losing side. But in that inning, the Giants got 4 runs to tie the score to get him off the hook. 3-1 to count to Grody at the plate. Don McMahon, the 42-year-old right-hander, is warming in the bullpen now for the Giants, along with John Cumberland, the left-hander. Martinez is running. 3-1 is popped up, foul back into the seats and out of play. That'll bring Martinez back, and a 3-2 count to Grody. In case you joined us along the way, Willie Mays led off for the Mets at the bottom of the 1st inning. He was in the leadoff position in the batting order facing Sam McDowell. McDowell walked him. Then he walked Harrelson. Then he walked Agee. Then Rusty Staub hit a grand slam home run to post the Mets to an early 4-0 lead, and then McDowell struck out the side. 3-2, throw to first. Martinez back. Dave Kingman, the first baseman, returns the ball. Again, Martinez takes his lead. Throw to first. He's back. Close play, but he got back safely. Barr again now checking on the runner. Goes to first. Martinez is back. They figure with 1 man out and the speed he has and the count 3-2 that he'll be going, so he's trying to keep a short hauler on him. Meanwhile, at the plate, Grody has stepped out for a moment. A the palm of his hands around that kind tar on the handle of the bat. It's about a quarter of an inch thick. Third to first. Martinez is back. 4 consecutive times that Barr has thrown over to first base. Martinez leads. He's running. Swinging a ground ball to short. It's shoveled over to second. Throw to first, and a double play is accomplished to retire the side. Spire, Fuentes to Kingman. 6-4-3. They're out of the inning. It's no runs, a hit, no errors, and none left. Score at the end of 6 innings is Mets 5, Giants 4.
A few short hours of sleep. And your eyes are open. You're up. And ready for another busy day. Fighting traffic. On the road or in the school hall. Your vision is at work, helping you through the daily grind. And later, making your leisure hours more enjoyable. Because your eyes do so much for you all day, every day, the American Optometric Association says, take part of one day to do something for your eyes. Have a vision examination by a vision care specialist.
We go to the 7th inning at Shea Stadium. The light rain continues to fall. The ground crew came out to spread some sand around the mound to provide better footing there. The Atlanta Braves have just won an exciting ball game in the last of the 9th inning with the score tied 1-1. Darrell Evans crashed a home run to win it for the Braves. For Darrell Evans, his 4th home run of the year. Atlanta 2 runs on 9 hits, 1 error. Chicago 1 run, 5 hits, and no errors. The winning pitcher, Phil Niekro, his 5th win. And the loser, Mel Pappas, is now 3-3. The end of 3 innings, Houston 7, Pittsburgh 4. In the nightcap, Cincinnati leading St. Louis 1-0 in the 3rd inning. Reds won the opener 4-3. There in the 9th inning at Montreal, the Expos leading San Diego 9-3. The Dodgers and Phillies were rained out. Leadoff batter Chris Spire is up against Jim McAndrew, top of the 7th inning. The pitch by Mack, and a ground ball hit hard toward the middle, backhanded by Martinez. The throw is out at first. First base umpire, Mel Steiner, waited just a moment to move around and make sure Willie Mays still had his foot on the bag. Willie had to stretch for the throw. Good play by Martinez. It's hard to get set on that infield now. It has rained through the entire game, and the infield now is really showing it. 1 out and nobody on. The batter is Tito Puentes. This is quite a game for Tito. He's been up 3 times. He has a single, double, and home run. Those were all hitting right-handed. Now he'll be batting left-handed against Jim McAndrew. Tito Puentes batting .282 and a fastball letter high, strike 1 call. McAndrew into his windup. Here's the delivery and a well-hit drive to deep right center, way back. Stop going back. It is bouncing against the wall for an extra base hit. Fuentes around second. He'll hold there. And a red-hot Tito Fuentes has his 3rd extra base hit of this game. He now is 4 for 4. And the tying run is on second base. Tito Fuentes has a single, 2 doubles, and a home run. That is really a day's work. So Fuentes is the tying run on second, 1 man out, and the dangerous Bobby Bonds is the hitter. Bobby 0 for 3 in the game, has bounced to short, reached on a force play, been called out. Jim McAndrew looking in to get his side. Tito Fuentes takes a long lead off second base. Bonds, right-hand hitter, waiting. And the pitch by McAndrew, a swing and a miss and a slider, strike 1. Behind Bobby Bonds in the batting order, the cleanup hitter, Dave Kingman. 5-4, New York clinging to a 1-run lead. The Mets have been out-hit in this game 8-4. Now McAndrew up in pitching position. delivers to Bobby Bonds. A high fly ball to shallow right field. Back goes Willie Mays, and Martinez comes over. Martinez makes the catch in fair territory in shallow right field near the line. Two men away, and the cleanup batter, Dave Kingman, will be hitting. Kingman is 0 for 3. He has hit an infield pop-up, bounced into a force play, and fly to center. Two outs and one on. Tommy Agee deep and shaded to left center against slugger Dave Kingman. Now Buddy Harrelson runs Tito Puentes back toward the bag. The pitch thrown, a towering fly ball to deep left center. It's going to be playable, and Agee is under it in deep left center field. And he has it for the out. No runs, one hit, no errors, one left. At the end of 6.5 innings, the Mets 5, the Giants 4.
Everything you need to know in paint and color is Devo. Rainbow colors, sugar please, are from Devo and Celanese. Got you covered out or in, got you covered thick or thin. Paint a house or paint a wall, touch it up or cover all. Everything you need to know in paint and color is Devo. Rainbow colors, sugar please, are from Devo and Celanese. The Mets play-by-play.
You can win a free pair of Mets tickets to the Mets game of your choice in New York by stopping in and registering this week at the Agway store on the Johnstown Interior or Waltz Walk-In, 112 East State Street in Johnstown. That's right. 4 Mets tickets will be given away this week. Register at Agway or Waltz Walk-In.
The Mets play-by-play.
Now we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
This is WIZR and WIZR FM in historic Johnstown, New York. Radio correct time, it's 28 before 5, and it's now 60 degrees on the arterial.
Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kainer. The last of the 7th inning. The Mets 5, the Giants 4. Jim McAndrew will lead off against Jim Barr. Jim Barr, a young right-hander who throws very hard. Jim Barr and Dave Kingman were teammates on that outstanding Southern California college baseball team that won the NCAA World Series. Jim McAndrew is up, and the pitch is over, strike one call. On deck, Willie Mays. And when Willie comes up, he's going to get a thunderous ovation. Off the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. He got a standing ovation when he hit the home run, and he got quite a greeting in the New York dugout. And a foul ball wafted back into the crowd. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jim McAndrew. Tomorrow night, the Mets entertain the Montreal Expos. Game time, 8:05. It's all over at Sox Park in Chicago. Tom Bradley pitched a 6-hitter. The White Sox defeated Baltimore 4-1, and they beat Dave McNally. The Orioles are now playing 500 ball. The 1-2 pitch, inside and high to Jim McAndrew. Chicago 4 runs on 12 hits, no errors. The Orioles 1 run, 6 hits, and 2 errors. Tom Bradley the winner, Dave McNally the loser. And a foul ball back. Dave McNally has won 4 and lost 2. All 4 of his victories have been shutouts. Tom Bradley is now 4-1. Minnesota leading Milwaukee 4-1 going to the 9th inning at Minnesota. High and away. 3-2 to Jim McAndrew. In the first game of the doubleheader at Kansas City, the Royals lead the Tigers 2-1. They are in the 7th. And it's over, strike 3 call. Here comes Willie. Tied 4-4. Willie Mays led off the last of the 5th inning and hit a home run. His first home run of the year. What a dramatic homer for Willie. And what a reception by the baseball fans of the New York Mets. And a foul ball hit back upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike to Willie Mays. The surprising Cleveland Indians continue to win. They beat the Rangers today 4-3 with Gaylord Perry the winner. The 1-1 delivery, it is high, and Willie takes it. 2 balls and a strike. The Giants have out-hit the Mets 8-4, but the Mets lead 5-4. On a grand slam by Rusty Staub in the first inning, the home run by Willie Mays to regain the lead in the 5th inning. High inside, ball 3. If Willie draws a walk, it'll be the 3rd time today that he has been on base. Now the wind-up 3-1 pitch, and a half swing. He held in time. It's high, ball 4. Well, Willie has been on base this year over 40% of the time. That was the first walk given up by Jim Barr, and the hitter is Bud Harrelson. Buddy reached on a walk. He scored on that grand slam in the first. Since then has popped to second and been struck out, nothing for 2. There goes Willie Mays. The pitch outside, the peg to second, the slide, and he is out. Willie is out, trying to steal. And Willie gets a hand as he comes off the field. So 2 men away, and the base is clear now. Bud Harrelson, the batter. Jim Hart in close at third, and a high fly ball hit deep to right. Moving back, Bobby Bonds. He draws a beat on it, and he puts it away for the out. That's out in the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left. At the end of 7 at Shea, the New York Mets 5, the San Francisco Giants 4.
To make sure you get quality-control fuel oil, call your Robin dealer, Shepherd Oil Company. The Robin sign at Shepherd Oil is your assurance of uniform top-quality heating oil. How often is it checked? At least 21 times. These checks maintain consistent quality from well to the refinery to the tanker or pipeline and to Shepherd Oil Company. These rigid tests assure top-quality heating value for every penny you spend for heating oil. Remember, this kind of thorough quality control is automatically yours from your Robin Oil dealer, Shepherd Oil of Johnstown. Call 762-7812. That's Shepherd Oil Company. And get all the details about Shepherd's balanced payment plan. Any Shepherd Oil customer can tell you that the Shepherd Oil plan takes the worry out of winter heating bills. Now you can have all the heat you want when you want it, and convenient monthly payments too. You can't go wrong. This is just one of the many services at Shepherd Oil Company, your Robin Oil dealer in Johnstown. Phone 762-7812. That's Shepherd Oil Company of Johnstown.
We go to the 8th inning. The Mets nursing their 1-run lead. Ken Henderson will lead off for the Giants. Henderson bats 5th in the order. Then Jim Hart and Gary Maddox. Don McMahon is loosening up in the Giant bullpen in case they get down to the number 9 position. Jim McAndrew starting his 3rd inning of the game. And the pitch by Mack, fouled straight back, strike 1. Jim McAndrew pitched very well in his first start. Like Ray Sadecki, it figured that he would be quite rusty. He had pitched very little. And McAndrew and Sadecki both came through with good ball games, surprisingly good control for the long layoff. Pitches inside and low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Because of the baseball strike and then later bad weather, the number of postponements. It has been hard for all the managers to give the full pitching staff enough work. A towering infield pop-up. Buddy Harrelson standing near second base is under it. And Buddy takes it. 1 away, top of the 8th inning. Now Jim Hart, the 3rd baseman. Jim Hart has 2 for 3. He singled in the 2nd inning and he singled in the 6th inning. Bernie Williams, Chris Spire, and Tito Puentes have driven in the 4 Giant runs. McAndrew out of his windup. Here's the pitch. And it's over at the letters for a call strike. Jerry Grody setting up the target. Low and outside, a breaking pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. McAndrew keeps the ball very low. Now the 1-1 pitch by McAndrew, outside and low, 2 balls and 1 strike. McAndrew is probably the hardest pitcher on the staff to catch. He throws a lot of breaking pitches. Keeps the ball very low. Ground ball hammered hard to third. Fergosi with it. Turns and makes the long throw. He's out. 2 outs, nobody on. Fergosi had a long throw to make. He was deep behind third when he came up with the grounder. Now Gary Maddox will hit. Montreal coming in for a 4-game series to close out this long homestand. 3 night games and a day game. The day game is Thursday afternoon. Now McAndrew side again. Here's the pitch. And a long fly to deep right center, way back beyond the reach of Tommy Agee. It bounces over the fence for a ground rule double. That might have been a good thing. That could possibly have been a triple. So Gary Maddox is on second base with a ground rule double. He hit a drive to deep right center that hit the warning track and bounced over the fence. The ball was hit about 395 feet on the fly. Dave Rader, left-handed batting catcher, is going to hit for Fran Healy. And Danny Frisella starts to warm up for New York. And again, the Giants, on a long hit, have the tying run in scoring position. Dave Rader, who bats left-handed, and platoons with Fran Healy, will now bat for Healy with a right-hand pitcher in the ballgame. And he'll take over behind the plate. Jim Barr is scheduled up next. Third hit surrendered by Jim McAndrew. Now McAndrew up in pitching position. Delivers to Dave Rader. On the outside corner, strike 1.
Hey, hot dog! Hey, hot dog!
McAndrew reading the information from Jerry Grody. The left-hand hitter waiting. Ground ball hit to shortstop. Buddy Harrelson is there. He snags it and throws on to Mays. Out at first base. Willie was pulled off the bag, but he put the tag on the runner, Dave Rader. The side is out. This is quite a day for Willie Mays. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. Now, at the end of 8 innings, the New York Mets 5, and at the end of 7 and a half innings, I beg your pardon, the New York Mets 5 and the San Francisco Giants 4. Well, we'd like to have the attention of all the senior citizens because we have a day coming up for you on Thursday afternoon. Thursday afternoon, the last game of this homestand. The Mets will be playing Montreal at 2:05 p.m., and it will be the second Senior Citizens Day of the year. All senior citizens 60 years of age and over will be admitted to Shea on Thursday for a 50-cent service charge. Here's a great way to spend a relaxing day at the beautiful stadium. I'm sure you'll see an exciting ballgame. So join us on Thursday afternoon, the 18th of May, when the Mets take on Montreal in a single game at 2:05. We're certain you'll enjoy the afternoon at Shea as much as ever. 882 straw hats given to the ladies on Mother's Day here at Shea Stadium. It's all over in Montreal. The Expos broke out of their slump. They beat San Diego 9-3. Montreal had lost 8 of the last 11 games. Mike Torres was the winning pitcher. He's now 3-0, and Clay Kirby was the loser. Mike Jorgensen hit his 4th home run of the year. Ron Fairley and Gary Justat also had home runs. Cincinnati over St. Louis, 4-3 in the first game of a doubleheader. Gullett won it in relief. Cincinnati leading 1-0 after 3 in the nightcap. Santorini and Tom Hall are the pitchers. Houston leads Pittsburgh 7-4. They're in the 5th inning. And on a homer in the ninth inning by Darrell Evans, the Braves beat the Cubs 2-1. Now Tommy Agee leads off in the last of the eighth inning and takes strike one. The Yankee-Angel game not yet underway on the West Coast. Cleveland beat Texas 4-3. Pitch to Tommy Agee is high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jim Barr is a very hard-throwing right-hander. He looks like a very promising young pitcher. The 1-1 delivery. Inside, a breaking pitch. It's 2-1. Jerry Koosman is going to warm up alongside Danny Frisella in the New York bullpen. Mets nursing that one-run lead, sculptured by Willie Mays with a home run in the fifth inning. The 2-1 pitch by Jim Barr. Fastball outside, 3-1. Tommy Agee has walked twice in today's game, and Tommy also stole a base. Officially, Tommy is 0 for 1. 3-1 delivery. Foul ball back over our broadcasting booth up into the mezzanine. It's 3-2. The heart of the batting order facing Jim Barr here in the last of the eighth. And a swing and a miss. He struck him out on a 3-2 fastball. Jim Barr getting his third strikeout. This is his third inning in the game. Rusty Staub. He gave New York a 4-0 lead in the first inning with a grand slam homer. His third career grand slam. The Giants tied the game with 4 runs in the top of the fifth. The Mets regained the lead on the homer by Willie Mays in the bottom half of the fifth. High, inside, ball 1. One ball, no strikes to Rusty Staub. Here's the pitch on the way. Fastball on the inside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Giants will have the pitcher scheduled to lead off in the ninth, followed by Chris Spire and then Tito Puentes. And a fastball high outside, 2-1. Mets are going to have to figure out a way to get Tito Puentes out of the ninth inning. He has 4 for 4, a single, 2 doubles, and a home run. Now Jim Barr with a count of 2-1 to Rusty Staub. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball, a strike, it's 2-2. Rusty broke a batting slump when he hit the grand slam home run. He had gone through a 4-game batting slump. He was 0 for 16 when he made contact. His last hit had been a home run off the Dodgers' Al Downing. Now it's 2-2 on Rusty Staub. Giant outfield, deep and around to right. Foul ball hit down the left field line over toward the crowd. One out and nobody on in the last half of the eighth. Jim Barr delivers. Strike 3 called. A fastball on the inside corner. The way Jim Barr has pitched in relief in this series, he might very well be starting ball games for the Giants in the near future. He has been very impressive. Barr now has fanned 4. Leon Jones coming up. Leon is 0 for 3. Leon is handicapped a little bit. He has a bruised thumb. He was jammed. He has the thumb taped and he wears a glove. When you have a bruised thumb and you get jammed again, it really hurts. Curve in the dirt, ball 1. Jim Fregosi waiting on deck. Curve ball on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Cleon looks at a curve and it's over the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Last of the 8th inning. The Mets lead 5-4. This game was delayed almost a half hour because of rain. Once the game started, we have played straight through. Pitching 1-2. Outside and low, 2-2 to Cleon. The runs have come in a hurry here today. 4 in the first inning for the Mets, 4 in the fifth inning for the Giants. 1 in the last of the fifth inning for New York. Fastball over the outside corner, strike 3 call. And Jim Barr has just waded through the heart of the batting order, striking out all 3. Leon did not like the call by Chris Pelacutis. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. At the end of 8 innings, the New York Mets 5 and the San Francisco Giants 4.
If you could hear a smile, you'd hear them all around. Some people tune to radio, 'cause that's the smiling sound. Radio, radio, the greatest sound on earth. It spreads a grin across the chin. Who knows how much that's worth? The Mets play-by-play.
You can win a free pair of Mets tickets to the Mets game of your choice in New York by stopping in and registering this week at the Agway store on the Johnstown Arterial or Waltz Walk-In, 112 East State Street in Johnstown. That's right. 4 Mets tickets will be given away this week. Register at Agway or Waltz Walk-In.
The Mets play-by-play.
Alan Gallagher is the pinch hitter as we go to the 9th inning. Gallagher, who plays a lot of third base for the Giants, is a right-hand batter, and he faces Jim McAndrew. In the Mets bullpen, both Jerry Kuzman and Danny Frisella are staying active. So it will be Alan Gallagher, Chris Spire, and Tito Puentes. And if anybody gets aboard, Bobby Bonds comes up. Ground ball back to the mound, snagged by McAndrew. He throws to first in time for the out. The bat broke in 2 pieces. One part of the bat wound up at the feet of Jim Fregosi near third. One pitch, Alan Gallagher retired as the bat was broken in 2. Well, no, it was broken in 3 pieces. The bat boy goes around collecting the wood. 1 out and nobody on. Chris Spire is up. Spire has a double in 4 times at bat. Shortstop is batting at .275. He's a right-hand hitter. Jim McAndrew took over in the 6th inning. The pitchers of record at the moment are Ray Sadecki and Don Carruthers. Here's the pitch on the way. High pop foul, might be playable. Over goes Fregosi, right up to the tarp, gets up on the tarp, no play. Fregosi went up on top of the tarp. He was going to try to reach over and grab it, but it went too far back into the stands. Don Carruthers worked only 1 inning and gave up just 1 hit, but he's the pitcher of record at the moment. He served the home run to Willie Mays. Now a 1-strike count on Chris Spire. McAndrew starts winding and the pitch. Ground ball hit to shortstop. Big hop. Buddy Harrelson has it. Across to Willie. 2 down. 2 outs and nobody on, and here comes Tito Puentes. He has had a phenomenal day. A single, 2 doubles, and a home run. 4 hits and 4 times at bat. He raised his batting average 16 points here today. His first 3 hits, a double, single, and home run, he was batting right-handed. The last time up in the 7th inning against Jim McAndrew, he was batting left, and he doubled to deep right center. McAndrew with his sign. Now back into his windup. Here's the pitch. Fastball, strike call. Bobby Bonds is the on-deck batter. Fregosi has to play shallow to guard against the possibility of a bunt. A little bit high, 1 ball, 1 strike to Tito Puentes. The Mets lead 5-4, 2 outs in the 9th. The 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2 balls and a strike. McAndrew trying to keep the ball away from the left-handed hitter, Tito Puentes. He doesn't want him pulling one to right field. Now the 2-1 delivery. Outside, ball 3, 3-1. Bobby Bonds on deck. Everybody kind of leaning forward in their seat. Now McAndrew is over the head. Here's the 3-1 delivery. Ball 4. The tying run is on, and he'll have to pitch to Bobby Bonds. So Tito Puentes came to bat 5 times, was on all 5. And a very dangerous Bobby Bonds is now the batter. Bobby is 0 for 4 in the ballgame. Here is one of the better hitters in baseball. He has a lot of speed, and let's figure him as a pull hitter. Buddy Harrelson over toward the hole. Jim Fregosi will guard the line. He's playing practically on the line. The outfield is deep and around toward left. Now McAndrew checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Curve low and away. 1 ball and no strikes. McAndrew checks the runner. Tito Puentes delivers. Swing and a miss and a slider. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bobby Bonds really gave it a rip. The center fielder, Ken Henderson, number 5 hitter in the order, is waiting on deck. Willie Mays holds against the runner and a throw to first, not in time. That's trying to sweep this 3-game series from the Giants. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, curveball. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Very important ball game for the Mets, the way the other games are running in the National League East at the moment. Now McAndrew is ready. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Beautiful job by Jim McAndrew. 4 scoreless innings in relief as he protected a 1-run lead. And the Mets come out of the dugout to pound Jim McAndrew on the back. And the Mets win it on a dramatic home run by Willie Mays and some super relief pitching by Jim McAndrew. In the 9th, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. Final score, the New York Mets 5 and the San Francisco Giants 4.
From neighbor to neighbor, that's how friendship should grow. How friendship grows. Neighbor to neighbor, sharing good things we know. Me to you, you to me, it has always been so. It has always been so. And everyone's neighbor is your neighbor.
Over 35,000 fans drove through the rain to get to Shea Stadium to watch the Mets tackle the Giants and to watch Willie Mays make his debut with the New York Mets. They sat through a light rain throughout the afternoon, but it was a rewarding day. Willie Mays hitting a dramatic home run to break a 4-4 deadlock. Jim McAndrew protecting that 1-run lead over the last 4 innings by pitching scoreless relief. And the Mets win it to sweep the 3-game series from San Francisco. It's a 1-run victory. The Mets now have played 8 games decided by the margin of 1 run. They have won all 8 of those games. The Mets now have gone 10 games over the 500 mark with a record of 17 wins and 7 losses. The way things are going in the National League East this afternoon, it should even make their position atop the Eastern Division more secure. The winning pitcher, Ray Sadecki, making his first start, he gave the Mets 5 good innings, 4 scoreless innings. He then was roughed up when the Giants tied the game in the top of the 5th inning. Ray gets the victory, and Jim McAndrew put 4 scoreless innings on top of it as the Mets win it 5-4.
On May 11th, 1972, 3 days prior to this game that you have just heard being played, it was announced that Willie Mays had been traded from the San Francisco Giants to the New York Mets. On the Mets broadcast of May 11th, the Mets announcers relayed that news flash to their radio fans. Let's tune in on a portion of that broadcast of May 11th, 1972, and listen to Willie Mays being interviewed by the Mets announcers.
Well, hi, everybody. This is Bob Murphy with Ralph Kiner and Lindsey Nelson. Greeting you from a very busy Shea Stadium in New York, where the New York Mets, after defeating the Dodgers in 14 innings last night, prepare for the afternoon game of a day-night doubleheader. And the headline baseball story from Shea Stadium today, the New York Mets have just acquired Willie Mays from the San Francisco Giants. Willie Mays, Yogi Berra, Don Grant, Bob Sheving are on their way now to Shea Stadium following the sessions in Midtown Manhattan this morning. A press conference will be held in the press box at Shea Stadium upon their arrival. It is our understanding that the deal involves Charlie Williams, who has been pitching for Tidewater, and cash. So Willie Mays becomes a member of the New York Mets.
Well, as Bob Murphy opened the story with right here today, Willie Mays is now a New York Met, and if there's any wonder about what uniform number he'll wear, he has been wearing 24 throughout his entire career. Jim Beecham, who had that number 24, has been assigned number 5 before Willie Mays has even arrived here at Shea Stadium.
Interesting thing is that during batting practice, earlier Beecham was wearing 24.
So there's no doubt about Willie Mays, number 24 here at Shea Stadium as a New York Met. And here for the play-by-play as this game gets underway, Lindsey Nelson.
Thank you very much, Ralph Cannon. Hello again, everybody. Tom Seaver with a record of 4 wins and 1 loss, but also with leg trouble because of pulled muscle, is on the mound against the Dodgers. New York Mets with a record of 13 wins and 6 losses. On top in the Eastern Division of the National League. 1 game ahead of the second place Phils and a game and a half ahead of the third place Montreal Expos. The Dodgers have won 13 last 9. They're a game back of the division-leading Houston Astros in the Western Division. Willie Mays is at this moment en route from Manhattan to Shea Stadium here in Queens, and a press conference will be held when he gets here. We'll be covering that press conference, and we'll report to you any announcements that are made. There's a foul ball backing out of play. As Ralph Conner told you, Jim Beecham has already been assigned uniform number 5, giving up the 24, which will doubtless be assigned to Willie Mays. The Mets have not yet announced the identity of the player who will be cut to make room for Willie Mays. I would say that on the basis of developments, the prime candidate is Don Hahn. There's a pitch high and away for a ball. It's 2-1.
As you pointed out, Lindsey, there are little indications that might point that way, because if you get a uniform number 5, that's a good solid number. And if it had been, say, a 40 or 50 or something like that, it would indicate you might not stay.
This will be the 1-1 pitch, curveball. Foul back to third. Fregosi gives it a run, and he can't get it. It's in the seats, out of play. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Willie Davis. The Mets gave up pitcher Charlie Williams, who spent all of last year on the Mets staff, but during spring training this year was assigned to the AAA Farm Club in Tidewater, and cash. So we'll get whatever details there are, including some indication of when Willie Mays expects to be in uniform and ready to play for the New York Mets. He won't play in this game. Here's a pitch high for a ball. 2-2. Willie came into New York last night from Montreal for the meeting. Don Grant, the chairman of the board of the Mets, wanted to be sure that Willie Mays wanted to play for the Mets in New York. They didn't want an unhappy ball player. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled off. Count holds at 2-2. And it's expected that Willie will be used as an outfielder and as a first baseman. He was in 48 games with the Giants last year as a first baseman when Willie McCovey was hurt. And the Giants won the Western Division. No score in the ball game as we go to the 4th inning now, and here for the play-by-play, Bob Murphy. All right, Lindsey, Wes Parker leads off against Tom Seaver. Well, Ralph, you were back in the press conference with Willie Mays. Did you have any particular thoughts about it other than the ones reported?
Well, I guess, Bob, it's just a tremendous sports story, and Willie's happy to be here. There's no doubt about it. He's going to be enthused playing for the Mets. He's got a fantastic contract set up. It's a great way for him to end his career in the city where he came from, started in 1951. I'd say all the way around that it's one of the great sports stories
of the year. While back in the press conference, Ralph Kiner had a chance to chat with Willie Mays for a moment.
New York are happy. I'd just like to have you say something to the people as we're on the air right now with the ball game. And we'd like to have you just say hello to them.
Well, first of all, Ralph, I think this is a wonderful feeling being back in New York and the way they want me back. That's the most important thing to me. I don't know what I can do as far as helping the Mets are concerned. As you know, I love baseball, and as long as I go out and they feel that I can do the job in some kind of way, and I think I can. But again, the most important thing with me right now is being appreciated, and the way I see it here is that all the people around me and been around me always have appreciated me playing. So right now I feel real great.
How do you feel physically?
Oh, I think I can play, but as you know, I haven't played but probably 12 games so far, and that was mostly pitching. It probably take me a couple of days to get back and round out in the figures, just hitting a little bit. But I've been running and keeping myself in condition, so it shouldn't take too long for that.
Well, there are millions of baseball fans here in New York that are happy to have you with the New York Mets, and we wish you the best.
I wish they do too, so I can keep going.
Willie Mays.
Thank you, Jim. Ralph Kiner talking with Willie Mays just a few minutes ago in the press room here at Shea Stadium. Runners on first and second, Kenny Boswell coming up. And we're delighted to have in the radio booth the newest member of the New York Mets, Willie Mays. Willie, delighted to have you. Welcome to New York. Thank you very much, sir. Boy, they really have been ganging up on you back in that press room, old buddy. No, that's a good feeling, I think. When you have a game like that, you always make you feel good. So I'm very delighted that they were there. And everybody is so delighted to see you back in New York. Willie, I think I heard in the press conference, I was only in there for a few minutes, then I had to cut out to get back here. But the present plans are that you hope to be able to play on Sunday. Is that what I heard? Well, yes. Yoga said that I can go home and probably come back on Sunday and try to play against McDowell's, pitching Sunday and play against him then. I love to stay and play tomorrow, but as you know, when you trade it, you just don't have that feeling to play right now. So I'm going to try to get back on Sunday and play. Kenny Boswell is the batter. Alston made a quick trip out. The Mets lead 1-0 on Crane Poole's home run. Runners at first and second, 2 men away. Now Bill Singer checks the runners. And the pitch to Boswell. Inside and low, ball 1. Well, you're getting reunited with an old friend from many years in baseball with Yogi Berra. Oh, Yogi and I have always been good friends. As you know, anytime you have a guy like Yogi on the club, you can always have fun, and especially with him being the manager. Now Bill Singer, pickoff play, throw to second, not in time. Diving back, Duffy Dyer. Well, I think you're going to enjoy it, Willie. This is a ball club that's off to a good start. A ball club that feels that they can do a lot of business in the National League this year. Well, I think so, because especially anytime you play in New York, you always have that feeling to want to play baseball, and I think this is what these kids have, and I think you have a very solid ball club. The only thing I hope that I can fit in with them. Well, I'm sure you can do that without any problem at all. The pitch to Boswell is over for a call strike. Willie, I'm sure it's going to seem unusual to you. I think I said 2 outs, 1 out. Now you've been away for a decade. Now you're coming back to New York. You've always seemingly enjoyed hitting in this ballpark and playing in this ballpark, Shea Stadium. Well, I think I enjoy playing in New York. Is for one thing, is that every time I do come here, I seem to generate something in myself, and I understand that this is what happens to a lot of ball players that come here. 2-1 the count now on Kenny Boswell. Bill Singer had not given up a hit until the third when Seaver singled. The Mets have taken the lead 1-0 on a home run by Eddie Cranepool. Runners on first and second, 1 out, and the count 2-1 to Boswell. Singer delivers, and a slow grounder foul down towards Sheriff Robinson on the coaching line. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. John Milner is on deck, and then Rusty Staub. Willie, are your plans to hit for San Francisco this afternoon then and get back in time for Sunday, or what? I'm going to try to go back tonight if I can and try to get back on Sunday. I'd rather not go back so I can just stay around here and take batting practice and get myself in condition to play. But as I say, when you have a situation like this, you have to get away a little bit, to get yourself together. 2-2 delivery. Curve just missing inside and low. It's 3-2. So we have a big one here, 3-2 on Kenny Boswell. We wish we could chat a little more with Willie right here, but this is the key spot in the ball game. Let's wait and see how this unfolds on 3-2. Duffy Dyer is on second. Buddy Harrelson on first, one out. Now Singer checks the runners. Let's see if they're going. They're running. The pitch inside and low, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. And John Milner is coming up. And the rookie outfielder from Atlanta is off to a super start. He's hitting over 400. The pitch. High pop fly into short left field. Dyer is tagging up. Willie Crawford under it in left field makes the catch. Dyer will hold up. He will not try to score. The bases remain loaded. And coming on to hit is Rusty Staub. Well, this is an exciting moment in this ball game, and it's been a very exciting day at Shea Stadium. The Mets announcing the acquisition of Willie Mays. Right now, Rusty Staub, the batter, with the bases loaded and 2 men down. Rusty Staub stepping in. Rusty has bounced out to second. He hit into a double play started by Bill Singer. So Rusty is over 2. Pickoff play, throw to second, ball gets away. Goes into center field. Duffy Dyer will score, and the runners move to second and third. On a pickoff attempt at second base. Bill Singer's throw was low. He eluded the shortstop Russell, went into center field, and the Mets are in front 2-0 as Duffy Dyer comes home. So we'll wait for the official scoring on the air. The Mets lead 2-0, and the batter is Rusty Staub. The outfielder around to right. Now the pitch on the way. And a ground ball hit down to first base. Wes Parker up with it, and he runs to the bag. The side is out. For New York, 2 runs. 1 hit, a home run by Eddie Kranepool. 1 error, and 2 were left on. And at the end of 5 innings here at Shea, the Mets 2 and the Dodgers nothing.
Now the Dodgers come up in the top of the 9th inning. Through 8 innings of play, it's the New York Mets 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors. The Dodgers no runs, 4 hits, and 1 error. Tom Seaver has been in all the way for the New York Mets. He struck out 6 and walked 3 here this afternoon, and Bill Buckner will lead off. If there's a man or boy around who has not heard the news, the New York Mets today acquired Willie Mays. When Willie Mays will play his first game in a New York Mets uniform has not yet been decided. We'll pass the information along to you as soon as it is definite when he will play. He had indicated earlier that a target date would be Sunday, thinking that he would fly back to San Francisco to straighten out his personal affairs, and manager Yogi Berra had told him he would be perfectly free to do that. However, there is a possibility that he might play as early as tomorrow night. That circumstance would come about if he does not go to San Francisco, and he has indicated he might not go.